Hey, everybody, welcome. This is No Bones About Wrestling, and this is one of our favorite things to do. Thank you for joining us. During September and October, we do WCW Halloween Havoc watch alongs. Like 2 weeks ago, we did 1998, which was a pretty good show. It was a long show, it was like 3.5 hours. And tonight, we're doing Halloween Havoc 1999. And this was Vince Russo. He was one of the writers, like one of the head writers during the WWF Attitude Era. And then he decided he wanted to jump ship and have more freedom to write things and more control kind of over the company. So yeah, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Ferrara. I forget. But they both jumped ship to WCW, and this Halloween Havoc, this is their their first event with WCW. And Russo had a style called Crash TV, where a lot of things happen. A lot of things happen very quickly. There's a lot going on. Um, so you either like it or you hate it, pretty much. On the TV shows, most of the matches would be like 3 minutes long, and most of them would end with some sort of run in, either during the end of the match or directly after the match. Um, so yeah, it's he has his own style, and he would introduce very dark themes. You know, wrestlers having to do this or that for him to save their jobs, and they eventually introduced a character called the Powers That Be, and it was just Vince Russo at a desk, but we did not see his face, but we just heard his voice.
Which is rather distinct.
Yeah. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, you're gonna be the janitor for WCW. That wasn't the best Russo impression, but um, you're gonna be, anyways. Yeah, so it was interesting. Um, the angles were definitely unique, and he really made a point of trying to get some of the skilled, underutilized talents involved in the shows. So, a lot of people hate Vince Russo, this and that. Sometimes he's very bad, but sometimes it's very creative and very entertaining. So, I think overall, I like the guy. I think he gave it a good try to do his own thing, and yeah, and that's something to be respected, I think. And then eventually they fired him. They brought him back. Uh, and then they stopped him again, and eventually they just paid off his contract and said, go home. So WCW is weird at that point. There was a lot of corporate rule over WCW, and they did not seem to understand the wrestling business. And Vince Russo told them the ratings would go up. It would take a couple years. It wasn't going to be an instant thing. But at first they just gave him like 2 or 3 months, and they sent him home. Just ridiculous. But
Can I tell you why I disagree with you about
okay.
him being a good thing for wrestling?
Mhm.
Brawl for all. So because he heard one wrestler that he didn't particularly like say that he thought he could beat up anyone in the locker room.
Who was it? Was it Bradshaw?
It was Bradshaw.
Bradshaw.
So he was like, well, now you can prove it. We're going to have real fighting.
Yeah.
And he didn't give a fuck like if wrestlers got hurt and their careers ended just because he wanted to make Bradshaw humiliated.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't, you know.
And now he like says that it wasn't. He still doesn't think it was a bad idea.
I mean, people were interested in it. The claim that it was real. People were very interested in it. And Bart Gunn won. He got kind of a push, and he eventually faced Butterbean, the big fat boxer who wears American flag trunks, and Butterbean just knocked him out very quickly, just killed him. So that made the brawl for all kind of pointless at that point. Anyway, so yeah, that's Vince Russo. A lot of good, some bad, some in between. But whatever you think about him, unique as a writer and pretty creative, I think. And yeah, So we're gonna watch his first show, and I think eventually, very soon, I think we're gonna have like a Vince Russo show where we go through the WCW episodes that Vince Russo hosted, like the Nitros and pay-per-views. So I think we're gonna do that very
That'll be
soon.
Asa all by himself.
Yeah, gonna start that soon. But here, let's talk about our costumes real quick.
All right.
Okay, what have you got going on?
So I'm a Halloween Havoc witch. I have my Halloween Havoc shirt.
Which year is that? 89?
89, I believe. Yes, 89. And then I have my deluxe Spirit Halloween witch hat that has like spiders and black roses and stuff on it. And then I have these new earrings from Spirit Halloween. I'm an advertisement for them. They're like, so it looks super 70s and they're fun pumpkins.
I like it.
That's, yeah.
I am Charlie Conway from the Mighty Ducks movies. I guess the first one, because that's when they had these jerseys. Maybe the first and second one. But yeah, he was the captain. They called him Spazway, but eventually he got good. So yes, I am a Mighty Duck tonight. And as these go on, we'll have costumes, different costumes every time. We're gonna do a couple more. How many days do we have till Halloween? Like 21? What's today? The 10th? The 11th?
11.
11th. So 20 days left. And here, Eric Tate says, I still wish WCW was here. Yeah, me too, man.
And we're going to watch They Live. I'm demanding
Yes,
it.
yeah. And I just read that They Live is returning to theaters in November.
That's cool. Why November?
I don't know, but that's very interesting. I think I'm going to go see that. I'd love to see that on a big screen. But Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:03.
The time is 8:03 p.m.
Oh, shit. Okay. We're going to start. So I'm going to give everybody just a minute. So, open your Peacock account, go to WCW, and then search Halloween Havoc. And we're watching Halloween Havoc 1999. It has a picture of Sting, which is from 1992, but they reused it for 1999 for some reason. But yeah, Halloween Havoc 1999. Or if you found it on the internet somewhere, still get ready. And in just a minute, we're going to do a countdown to start the show. And then that way we'll all be synced up. And then throughout the show, like if you get behind, you got to pause or whatever happens. Throughout the show, I'll give, the time that we're at. So if something happens, you can catch back up with us. And, or for new viewers, they can see where we are in the show. Yeah, so Peacock, WCW, Halloween Havoc, 1999. So I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to finish that up.
You want to give me the control?
No, I'll do it.
Oh, no, okay. Normally I do it. That's fine.
That's fine. All right. So hopefully everybody's ready, and we're gonna do a countdown and start. So get ready to play it. So Halloween Havoc 99, the first Vince Russo WCW show. So strap the fuck in. We're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play.
You should be looking at the WCW logo, which is very confusing to me.
Since you got that belt, I want it. You can't touch me. I'm gonna get it. Or you.
Yeah. We got Sid Vicious defending the U.S. title against Goldberg. Two big dudes going at it.
I'm going to rip up your future destination. Sydney's business now. Oh my God.
I like Sid and I like Goldberg. I know a lot of people don't care for Goldberg, but I was a fan, especially during the streak. I mean, he was just electric.
Do not come true in this business. I will not stab the Stinger. The Stinger is back in black. I can't believe Sting used the face.
Oh, Eric Tate says, I still miss Sid. Yeah, me too. He was awesome. He was just a force, and his power bomb was great. But so this is where Sting is a heel. So it
You said
didn't.
it there. I thought you said that was from TNA. It's Showtime.
We used it more there.
Ah.
So there's a spider on the screen. They're in Las Vegas, Nevada. For several years, they had this in Las Vegas. Slim Jim's Halloween Havoc.
Did you see the fire?
I did not. Oh, and they got that awesome gargoyle, the giant pumpkin. I love it.
Fire came out of the ring post. Well, this one's gonna get a good score for Halloweeniness.
Yeah, I don't remember all the matches, and I didn't look them up because I didn't want it spoiled. Because I don't remember who wins most of these matches. So we'll find out together. Bobby the Brain, my favorite announcer ever.
We have breaking news to begin the telecast tonight. Rey Mysterio Jr. has suffered a leg injury and thus cannot compete tonight.
That sucks.
And now the powers that be has stepped in once again and made this decision. They have stripped Rey Mysterio Jr. and Conan to fill the animals of the World Tag Team title.
Damn.
So tonight on the telecast, they have put together, listen to this, a six-man, three different teams in the ring, anything goes, pinfalls, counting where street fight for the World Tag Team title with Harlem Heat, the First Family, and Conan, and now Kidman of the Filthy Animals, the winning team, will become the World Tag Team champions here tonight. And you think you're going to keep those six men in the ring? It's going to be all over the place. You know what's going through their minds. This is Halloween Havoc. They want the big one. They want to become tag team champions of the world. Somebody's going to the hospital. Somebody's going to the bank. Plus tonight, they're just going for an defensive cruiserweight title against Lash LaRue. Chris Benoit defensive television title.
Nice.
The dog face Brandon Rick Steiner. And what about the big ones? Sting and Hulk Hogan.
Chris Benoit, baby.
It is tonight on this program.
They say Sting and Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah. What kind of mood could Goldberg be in? What has been going through Goldberg's mind all week?
So this is when Hogan went back to the red and yellow. And like I said, Sting is a heel, so weird matchup.
This is the one match wrestling fans, WCW fans around the world have been waiting for. It is tonight.
Those Goldberg film bodies, they look like Big Show.
Really?
Yeah.
The guy right behind the announcers looks like Rhett Titus from Ring of Honor.
I thought the exact same thing.
Maybe it is. I don't know. It really
He's
looked
going
like
to be
him.
at the AML show in October.
Oh, that's cool. So we got the Cruiserweight title match. We got fucking goddamn Disco Inferno
You love him.
as the Cruiserweight champion, even though he was over the weight limit. That's what they did because they thought it was funny. You know, whatever. It's not. And he didn't deserve to be facing all those other talented Cruiserweights. So he's facing Lash LaRue here, who I really enjoyed. I thought he had a lot of personality. Very good wrestler, I thought. And he kind of just disappeared after WWE bought WCW. I don't know. I assume he went to the Indies or something. I never heard from him again. So if you're just joining us, we are at 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the show.
The last Halloween Havoc that I watched, Asa picked it, and it had 2 Disco Inferno matches.
That's true. Yeah, 1998, he wrestled twice.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. I like that WCW logo, the one that's right above us here on the stream.
The one that it's hard to tell that it says WCW.
Yeah, it's true.
Terrible logo design.
Most people don't care for it, but I like it. Raging Cajun, Lash LaRue.
You had to tell me that it was a W and a C and a W.
Yeah, it really does not. Yeah, it doesn't look like it does.
It looks like
WCW.
a weird shaped throwing star.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. We got Lash LaRue with the L-shaped sideburns.
Do you think Starburns stole the idea of shaping your sideburns after Lash LaRue?
Yeah, and Starburns on Community. That is what I think of. Yeah, I think of Lash LaRue when I see him.
He reminds me of Will Ospreay and his like mannerisms, and how he comes out like he does. At least another. I've only seen him in like one other match, but when he came out of the ring, he like does the run up and like the look around. Oh, not out of the ring, out of the backstage area. like Will Ospreay does, and he's got a very similar haircut.
This one part of knowing that he's got to get things going quickly. Sending points no room. I can tell you right now, fans, and I know you realize that.
But yeah, we got Hogan versus Sting for the world title. I forget who's the champion. I think it's Hogan, but I'm not sure. We got U.S. champion Sid Vicious defending against Goldberg. We got this cruiserweight match. We got that three-way tag match for the belts. Ric Flair is in a strap match with someone. I forget who. And that's all I can remember.
It's
Oh,
Hogan.
Chris Benoit defends the television title against Rick Steiner.
Hogan definitely has the belt because they said that Sting just came back,
Oh, okay.
and now it's showtime.
Of course, Hogan, in his contract, he had creative control. So any he had the right to approve or disapprove of the ending of every match he was in.
Weird. Deadpool, I don't think was a thing yet, was it? But he has like Deadpool tights on. Isn't that the Deadpool logo?
I don't
They're
think
like very similar.
similar. It's very similar. Bishop here says, new sub, I'm 36, watched the Attitude Era and a fan of NWO, but only Wolfpack.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, the Wolfpack were cool. Everybody liked them. They had that great theme. Oh, Les LaRue just did a split and a clothesline. But yeah, welcome Bishop 29.
He didn't just do a split. He did a split and then got back up without using his hands.
Yeah.
That's the craziest.
Yeah, he's impressive. I
Yeah.
always liked Lash LaRue.
I like saying his name. It's very satisfying.
Yes, it is. Well, Lash LaRue was I'm not sure if he was a real cowboy, like a real Western figure, or he was just in books. But that's where he got that name. He was a
Huh.
character, yeah, like a cowboy.
I assumed it was from New Orleans because LaRue is a common.
Well, I think
French
that's why he
name.
picked it, you know,
Yeah.
or whoever picked it. I don't know.
That would suck to not be able to pick your own name.
Yeah, that happens a lot in wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
formerly known as the Ghetto Basement Fire. Yeah, yes, it is. It's gonna be a good show here. And if you're just joining us, we're at 9 minutes and 5 seconds into the show. And when the show's over, well, should I give my bone ratings as we go?
Yeah.
As we go?
I
Okay.
think so.
I'll give my bone ratings out of 5 as the show goes on.
If you're new to the channel, we rate matches. Well, Asa rates matches using the bone scale. 5 bones being the best, 0 bones being like horrible.
I've never given out the 0 bones, I don't think.
It's still possible. You've given out 0.5 bones.
Yes, I gave out a half a bone several times.
In not too distant past, you used to have that 30-day pause. Not anymore. You can't perform, see you later. Apparently, powers of eight. Here's another one, too.
If they're talking about what I think they were talking about, I wish they would bring that back, where you had to wrestle, like you had to defend your belt
Yeah.
within 30 days of getting it, or your belt was stripped.
Right.
AEW needs to adopt that.
Maybe he's not so
Yeah, I don't think most people go 30 days.
Young
The
Bucks,
Young Bucks did.
longer.
Right,
Yeah.
the Young Bucks did. Here, Lash LaRue's good, but it's kind of hard to have a good match with Disco Inferno. He sucks.
I've seen worse.
I've
He
seen
does
worse
that
too,
thing that
but
I
he
hate
sucks.
that where people pin someone and it's so clear that like their body is not like on top of them. They're leaving like a big space for them to be able to get out.
Mhm.
I hate that.
Lash LaRue skinned the cat, as they say. We didn't see it. He got back in the ring. Backbreaker.
Come on, Lance, get on top of him. pick him up.
Are you in there?
I'm in the room. I can't let you in though. So there may be some weird sound when it.
Down goes Maestro hard in a great move, but it's not front of in the cut. And swims. What happened here? No, sir. That was close. That'll help you. Now the reversal. Now it's hit the top turnbuckle pad and Russian leg sweep. Very different look on the face of the cruiserweight champion right now.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell happened there. No, we lost some people. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Sorry about that. That is, that's technology.
Right now, he's frustrated. Frustrated is the term. Very good.
Here, opinionated junkie says the pole matches are to die for. He said Vince Russo is awesome. Yeah, like I said, I kind of enjoy him.
I like him as a character.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Crash TV though. It just like makes my brain hurt. My brain is like that already. I don't need someone doing that to whatever I'm trying to watch like a regular person.
Yep. Here, Eric Tate says that would be so cool if AEW can have the name WCW. It's a better name, I think, than AEW. And I always like the name WCW.
I think it would be confusing. You know?
Yeah, it would be, but I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know if you got kicked out of the room or whatever. We are at 13 minutes and 23 seconds in. If you're just joining us or you got kicked out when I got kicked out, I don't know what the hell happened
Are
there.
you using DuckDuckGo?
No. But yeah, if you're out there, DuckDuckGo for your iPhone or whatever is a very good. I don't know if they do Android, but that's a good browser.
There used to be commercials for it on television. I think it's just on the internet. So if you can get the internet, you can get DuckDuckGo. I don't use it. I use Google. It's just insisting that it's better than Google, but I don't believe them.
So Disco Inferno keeps the Cruiserweight Championship for some reason.
Was he the first person to gyrate on a turnbuckle pad during a match?
What happens? I don't know what you're talking about.
During the match, when he went up to do a top rope move, before he jumped, he like gyrated his hips. You know?
It might have been. I missed that.
You didn't.
Lashley attacked him after the match, which is not very face-like. Here, Omega Red fan says, "I love Disco Inferno."
Awesome.
To each their own.
Then I recommend, what was it, 98 or is it?
Halloween Havoc 98.
Yeah, he's got 2 matches in that.
It's 2 matches, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, Disco Inferno was in the Cruiserweight division for quite a bit.
Disco wasting a little time there, but he knows what he's doing. He's setting his own.
He looks like a
pace.
male stripper.
Stunner. Yes, he does.
Drops him big time.
Is that the look they were going for? Like, he looks like he should have a bow tie.
Disco Inferno.
So Disco Inferno keeps the belt. What's happening here? Oh, and then yeah, LaRue attacked him.
He wasn't ready yet. He wasn't done.
That's a face thing to do. Fireman's carry, slam on the belt.
I thought you said that most people hate Disco Inferno, though, so why is the crowd booing that he's doing this?
I don't know, because it's not a good thing to do. So Omega Red fan says, and that's cool. Omega Red, if y'all don't know, that's from X-Men.
I assumed it was from Omega, like the wrestler.
No, Omega Red was a bad guy in X-Men.
Learn something new.
And he says he would get booed and still smiled and danced anyway. Yeah, that's true.
We're talking about it. That's what I'm going to do.
And the guys like Kevin Nash and all those, that clique, they all enjoyed Disco Inferno's gimmick. They thought it was silly and funny.
We've called you. I know you've been in Japan, but you can't call us back. Tonight's a good night for the Revolution, man. You know, Perry, you're right. Me and Chris did have
Who's that guy with the hat?
as far as
That's Perry Saturn.
Revolution, stick it up your ass.
Anytime,
Whoa. So
anytime.
Dean Malenko,
I think that makes it
Dean Malenko just told Perry Saturn to shove the Revolution up his ass, which is their stable. It was Saturn, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, maybe Shane Douglas?
Shane Douglas.
I don't remember. So that last match, the Cruiserweight title match,
a golden opportunity to regain the world tag.
it was okay. I'll give it 3 bones out of 5. Like I said, it's hard to work with Disco. I just don't care for him.
So this is 1999, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that he's interviewing someone backstage. No audio issues.
Right.
Fast forward to 2024. AEW, they sound like they're talking through like a tin can and strings in the interview segments. You go backwards with technology like that.
Yeah. AEW, that's one of their things they need to fix. Their audio issues. So Omega Red fan, talking about Omega Red, he says he was also one of Professor Stryker's test subjects, like Wolverine and Sabretooth. Yeah.
That's cool. What did he do to him?
Huh?
What did he do to him?
I don't know. He came out like white. And he was like a very formidable opponent. And I think he had like, I haven't seen him in a while. Didn't he have like tentacles or some shit like that, or something like that?
That's cool.
I haven't seen him in quite a while. All right, so here's the World Tag Team Title 3-way match. So far on the show, they announced Rey Mysterio Jr. was injured, so Rey Mysterio Jr. and Conan got stripped of the World Tag Team titles. And then they made a 3-way match with the First Family, Harlem Heat, and some other team to be the World Tag Team champions. And then we had the World Cruiserweight title match where Disco Inferno defeated Lash LaRue with a stunner. And then Lash LaRue did the very unface-like thing of attacking Disco Inferno after the match. And then the Revolution met outside earlier today. And Dean Malenko told Perry Saturn to shove the Revolution up his ass. And Chris Benoit was with Malenko, and he didn't say anything. That's your recap so far.
Is this when there was only one Nasty Boy?
I think yes.
Ugh. I love the Nasty Boys.
Yeah, I love the Nasty Boys, definitely. They're tough guys.
Back to David Fincher we go.
I love that their gimmick is just like we're gross.
And tough.
But even more than that, their gimmick is they're gross.
So I think they said this is a Falls Count Anywhere.
I like it when they have to relinquish tag belts and like the injured tag partner, or the one who's not injured, gets to pick a partner to also be in the tournament with, you know?
Yeah.
To like have a chance to keep their belts.
Well, that's what they're doing there. Conan and Kidman of the Filthy Animals are teaming up here.
Yeah.
And Long Island Wrestling Podcast. Dylan, what's up? He says, love the hat, Kay. Truly into the spooky season.
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoying the show. Yeah, like I sent you the link. You can come join us anytime you want.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen.
We were on Long Island Wrestling Podcast yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah, we did Wrestle Dream predictions.
So you should check it out on Dylan's YouTube.
But that gas press gets the big man over, but also.
But not right now. You should watch Talking Happens.
Yes. So I will be doing the Vince Russo Crash TV recaps just to keep you straight all night. Because a lot happens always.
Look at the man holding on. See, they don't get along together. They know what to do. That's the trouble with the Revolution. There's a lot of animosity there. Back we go to the introduction of the Filthy Animals.
So if you just joined us, we're at 20 minutes and 56 seconds in.
These entrances are taking a while.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
still got the belts with him, but picture there, they were stripping the belts, so now it's every man.
For some reason, if there's ever like a WCW wrestler who I can't remember their name or who it is, it's always Perry Saturn or Shane Douglas.
Mm.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool sign.
Missed it. Filthy Animals.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did you purchase that in a store?
Who's Brian Knobb's partner?
Hugh Morris.
He's not nasty though.
No. But he's part of the First Family, which, God, I thought they were managed, it's just so long ago, I thought they were managed by Jimmy Hart. But Jimmy Hart's not there, so I don't know.
What are you talking? He's in the ring with them.
Oh, I missed it. I was writing stuff down. I'm sorry.
He's right there. With
I see him.
his jacket.
Yeah, that's the First Family. Was the Jimmy Hart managed guys. So here, Eric Tate says Bobby the Brain was gold. Yes, I totally agree.
I thought Gorilla Monsoon was your favorite, but you just said earlier that Bobby the Brain was your favorite.
Well, Bobby the Brain's my favorite color commentator.
Okay.
And then number 2, I would probably put Jesse Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Jesse Ventura on commentary. My favorite play-by-play might be Gorilla Monsoon. Either he or Gordon Soley back in the NWA, the 80s. He was a great announcer.
I like Excalibur.
You like who?
Excalibur.
Oh, yeah, Excalibur's great. Yeah,
For
I agree.
play.
Yeah, he's great.
But Ian Riccaboni is probably my favorite after Bobby the Brain. Bobby the Brain's my favorite.
Yeah, Bobby the Brain's definitely great. And unfortunately, Bobby the Brain suffered some really terrible health things later in his life. He ended up getting, I think it was like jaw cancer or something like that, something terrible. And eventually didn't even look like himself. Very sad the way he went out. Very, very sad. Oh, his own partner, Hugh Morris is dead.
Who was he aiming for?
Well, Booker T, I think.
Oh, it seemed like his own partner was like the only person there.
So yeah, Booker T, at this point, he kind of went back and forth between doing singles stuff and tag team stuff. Harlem Heat, they had the titles several times. Good tag team. And then eventually, of course, Booker T went solo and became world champion.
I like when they let tag wrestlers also wrestle by themselves.
Yeah.
I think they should do that more often.
Pitfalls can't even go straight to the rules. Maybe you gotta have some sort of like that. You gotta have. I say have no referee.
Oh, Jimmy Hart's in the ring for some reason. I don't know what happened. And Hugh Morris hits Booker with a chair. So yeah, that's WCW's version of hardcore, chair and a trash can, and I don't know what else they got. Oh my goodness. Now they're at the Big Pumpkin in the graveyard.
Things are like, whatever you do, don't hit the giant pumpkin.
Probably.
With the metal trash can.
I'm sure. Yeah, there was one year it deflated. Like as the show went on,
Aww.
it deflated more and more. I don't remember what year that was, but that happened.
What are you looking for?
Oh, where's my juice?
Right there. By the wall.
Thank you. Oh, there's a casket. Okay. And Brian Knobbs, he and Jerry Saggs, one of my favorite tag teams, the Nasty Boys. Like Kay said, there's nasty, and they're tough guys. I mean, they work stiff a lot of times. When other
awesome.
Huh?
Their outfit's awesome. I
Yes.
love their splatter paint.
And when other wrestlers were up for working stiff with them, they would do that and just put on some really entertaining matches.
How does Conan wrestle with his pants hanging down like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Booker T kicks his own partner into a cardboard box.
Stack of empty boxes.
Yeah.
Up onto the lighting gels.
Who are you for here, Kay?
Harlem Heat.
You for Harlem Heat?
I can't be for one nasty boy. You know? I
I
feel bad.
about there being one nasty.
Yeah, for Sags.
I am for Brian Knobs and Hugh Morris. Hugh Morris, apparently, though, he was a jerk. Like, he was a WWE trainer later in his career, just several years after this, and apparently was just a real asshole to people.
Oh, that was recently?
No, that was right after,
Oh.
a couple years after this.
Didn't they have a problem with one of their trainers recently where like wrestlers were complaining that they were like getting pushed too far and like hurting themselves?
That might have been an NXT. Bam! Look at that moonsault.
Yeah. That's
Perfect
good.
through
Yeah.
the table on Conan.
Why does he keep getting in the ring?
What is that? Is that a mummy?
It's a mummy.
I enjoy it. Oh, is this the end? 1, 2. Harlem Heat win the belts.
I am the predictor of everything. Did you give a bone rating for the last one?
Yeah. The first match was 3 bones out of 5. It was okay. Like I said, Disco Inferno just awkward in the ring to me. So if you're just joining us, we are at 27 minutes and 43 seconds in to Halloween Havoc 99.
How many bones are you giving this one?
Well, let me decide.
Oh, okay.
David Pinter is talking to other referee Billy Silverman and trying to.
It was entertaining. I'm gonna give it 4 bones out of 5. I thought it was a pretty entertaining match.
I wish it was like a smidgen longer.
Yeah, I agree.
It seems very short for a hardcore match.
And now Billy Gibbons said, no, I just pinned you Morris.
Oh, it's unclear.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, but here's the official word.
Ugh, Conan's ears make me like a little queasy. Like they make my stomach like.
What's wrong with his ears?
He's just got like 3 larger gauged like hoops in a row, and the way they're like pulling on. Oh, I can't like. I can find with like blood and guts and stuff, but like pulling of skin makes me like ugh.
Jesse Help. What's up, Jesse?
Hey.
Says, is this the Ray versus Eddie Havoc? No, it's not. That's 1997 for that classic match. And I think we did that one last year.
Yeah.
So after tonight, look on our YouTube and we did Halloween Havoc 97. We did a watch along last year. And of course, you can still watch it because we just do the countdown and then you press play. And then it's like we're watching it with you. So.
And I think our friend Dylan from last week in the wrestling podcast, which is now Long Island Wrestling Podcast. I think he was on there with us, and he's like super funny.
Yeah, he really is. I invited him tonight, so maybe he'll show up at some point. I don't know. He was lurking in the comments a minute ago. Eric Tate says Ray acted like a heel in 1999. Yeah, I didn't care for that. Rey Mysterio is a heel. What's wrong with Conan here?
They said that I think he has a.
I think he's really hurt. Is he?
It made it sound like
There's Rey Mysterio with Tori Wilson, I think.
She's no longer in
Yes, it is.
jail as a prisoner.
She's what?
Last time you made me watch WCW Nitro, she was handcuffed in a cage because someone else had like kidnapped her and was holding her hostage against the filthy animals.
Yeah, I think it was a Russo show.
It was a Russo show. It was the first Russo show I had seen.
Oh, you got to watch it with
God.
me. Jesse Helk says, gotcha, thanks. That match was one of my first memories as a kid. Billy Kidman, Eddie, Juventud, what an era. Yeah, I'm with you, man. The WCW Cruiserweight scene was just so awesome. And like you said, Kidman, Eddie Guerrero, Juventud Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Rey Mysterio Jr., La Parca, Psychosis. I could go on and
I
on.
love Juventud.
Yeah, and here come Rick and David Flair. And Flair has a crowbar. Flair, probably my favorite wrestler of all time.
His son did not inherit his sense of style.
or his wrestling ability. His son sucks as a wrestler. And they kept putting him in. Eventually, he won the United States title, David Flair.
And then his sister surpassed him. His sister surpassed him in.
Oh, yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte.
I love DDP.
Yeah, I love DDP. Jesse says Jericho versus Juventud is classic. Yeah, I'm not sure which match exactly you're referring to, but I'm sure it was classic. Yeah, both those guys. Yeah, Jericho. I left him out of what I was saying. Like I said, you can go on and on with the cruiserweight scene. Blitzkrieg was another one. If you don't know Blitzkrieg, look him up after the show.
I don't know Blitzkrieg.
Amazing wrestler, and then he just disappeared. Just amazing guy.
Is that a wig? Is that her real hair? It's like plasticky looking.
I could not tell. So yeah, they said DDP is not scheduled to come out. So, and that's his wife, Kimberly Page,
14 times.
who was a Nitro girl, but now she's his, you know, whatever.
Valet.
Valet. Thank you.
14 is the number of times that you took your hand and smacked it on my butt.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Flair sexually assaulted DDP's wife in a hotel room. In the story, not in reality.
I got a little news for you, Rick. You see,
Her nipples are very
Those aren't her nipples.
no.
No, it's like on Friends. Those aren't Rachel's nipples. That's how they put something under their shirts to make their nipples stand out, but it's not theirs.
A little warm up.
Huh.
I learned that from a Friends behind the scenes thing. Or maybe Chris Kelly said it on the radio or something.
When Paige does it, it's a good thing. But when you do it, it's a bad thing.
You see, Nature Boy, I love her. I hate you. And after tonight, you're never gonna forget me.
Yeah, I think it's DDP versus Flair in a strap match. I think.
Kimberly invites David Flair up to her room.
How old is he here?
And I'll
DDP? I'm not sure.
Davey Boy.
I just love that like he's an older wrestler and nobody like wrote him off because of his
I'm
age.
gonna look it up in my Pro Wrestling Illustrated 2000 Wrestling Almanac and Book of Facts. Very handy. Covers all the wrestling from like whatever, like the 60s to 2000. Has title histories, pay-per-view results, all that shit.
Ooh, maybe next year someone will publish the last 25 years in wrestling history book, and then you can have a more complete collection.
That would be nice. I'd love to have a resource like that. I got some other books.
Resource?
Um,
So weird way to say.
this does not say when. It says he was born April 5th, but gives no year. So I don't know how old he is here. Over 40, I bet. I believe so.
One time, not
He didn't hit his prime until he was like 40 years old. So 39 years old, you know. Just kept improving.
Inspiration to us all.
you
Yeah.
run your hand over this. You like to spank it, don't you, Nature Boy? Of course you do.
So weird to watch old wrestling and like
DDP's got you
the way they portray and handle women in their storylines.
DDP's got a strap in his pants, and he's gonna spank Flair.
Let's whack it. Let's jack it
What?
all night long.
Gonna whack it and jack it all night long. Good God.
Strap match. Me and
Can you not get his belt off?
you.
No.
Want the truth, Nature Boy? You can't handle the truth. The truth is, I want you to take this strap. If you get the shot, and I want you to whack it all night long. Because you can bet your ass I'm going to be whacking you. And that's a promise from the new
I don't know what's happening here.
bada bing, bada boom, bada bing.
Whacking and jacking.
He is laying
I think
down the law. He wants Flair
I think this DDP music is replaced. I think they and some of the WCW shows they replaced the music.
Because of copyright.
Yeah, and I believe was not his music. He had a song that sounded very much like "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana.
I think this still sounds like Nirvana, but just like a bastardized version of it.
It does not sound like Nirvana. Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, he walked right into the arena, and the first thing he said to security, where?
All right, so we had a triple threat Falls Count Anywhere match for the World Tag Team titles. Harlem Heat versus Conan and Kidman versus Brian Knobbs and Hugh Morris. Booker T pinned Knobbs. Harlem Heat won the titles, even though Kidman was arguing that he pinned someone in the ring. That was 4 bones out of 5. And then Dallas Page came out of nowhere. They said it was unscheduled with Kimberly Page, and he was talking about whacking it and jacking it and challenged Ric Flair to a strap match. And now we're seeing Eddie Guerrero promo.
And as a matter of fact, I think it's about time that I give him a call to make
That's your Vince Russo recap.
That Rolex looks awfully familiar. Is that the same one that you took from Rick? Calling me thief? I never used the word thief.
You know what? I'm gonna let that slide. And as far as the
Generous of him.
being at ringside, hey, no sweat. Every revolution has to come to an end. It's Saturn then tonight.
Okay, so I guess Eddie Guerrero versus Perry Saturn.
Introducing first, representing the Revolution from Boston, Massachusetts.
On an unrelated note, one of my old students, came to visit me today. He saw Primus 3 times over the summer.
Wow.
Perry Saturn's super weird glasses made me think of Les Claypool's super weird glasses, and that made me think to tell you that.
That's cool.
Awesome. It's Sylvan's kid.
I went to see Primus, God, many years ago. Like, God damn, how long ago was that? It was like 18 years ago. That was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. I mean, they were better than their albums. You know, most artists are not like that live, I don't think. But they were, better than their albums. Just amazing. Here, Eric Tate says the Sting heel turn in '99 did not last that long. Yeah, never should have happened. You know, there are just some wrestlers, I think, that should never be heels, and Sting is one of them. He has so much like positive, energy and in him, and was so great in the '90s. In his feuds with Vader, Ric Flair, and whoever else.
Would you have said the same thing about Hogan pre-Hollywood Hogan?
No.
And that's not just hindsight.
I don't know. Maybe it is, but I think Hogan's act got a little tired, and I would argue that Sting's act, he kept changing up his character.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Sting's gimmick really got tired like Hogan, who had basically had the same match from 1985 to like 1995.
Mm-hmm.
But people loved it. I loved it. One of my favorite wrestlers, Hulk Hogan.
Hot Watch Guerrero. He's got it right on. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, representing the Filthy Animals.
So since it's Halloween, what's your favorite spooky creature? Like a real life animal that you think is spooky?
A real life animal?
Yep.
Jeez, that's tough. So who's one? Oh, it's Ric Flair's watch that Eddie Guerrero has. Favorite spooky animal?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's tough. I know. I'm take an easy answer. I'll probably say bats. I mean, bats are definitely creepy, especially when you see like 40 and 50 bats flying around. That's scary. You feel like you're in a horror movie when that happens. I think
It
so.
happens all the time in the summer here.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, bats are scary. They got rabies and shit. I don't want them anywhere near me.
They're so cute.
They're cute, but I don't want them anywhere near me.
Yeah.
And he trusts me with it. Does he really know?
All right, here we go. This should be pretty good here.
Everybody.
Eddie Guerrero, of course, one of the best ever.
Perry Saturn just stands standing right there on the top rope. Perry Saturn. Well, you know.
Am I allowed to pick a basilisk as a real animal? That's scary.
To take a what?
A basilisk.
A basilisk?
Basilisk, yeah.
Is that from Harry Potter?
Yeah. It could be real. Giant snake.
Giant snake. Oh, yeah. What was that? Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah.
Ah.
Turns you, paralyzes you with its stare, you know? Petrifies you, that's the word I'm looking for.
Somebody's got to control him.
If you don't count that as a real creature, or dragons as a real creature, I would also agree bats.
Douglas is that man. He knows how to put the animals.
Nope, I'm going scorpions.
Scorpions? Spooky? That's another animal I don't want anywhere near me.
Scared of. Because of Hook's boo box.
I'm most scared of snakes, definitely. I don't. Snakes and eels, anything that moves like that, you know,
With a slithery motion?
in a slithery motion, I don't like it. It's,
You know,
it's unnatural.
There's a snake neck turtle that's like a turtle. It's a turtle. But like where its head is, it's like it got an elongated neck. So it's got like a snake neck, but it's a turtle. They're really cool looking. They're from Australia where all weird things are from. God.
Australia seems like a really weird place. I would like to go there.
What? That's where everything is trying to kill you. Why would you go there?
We can just stay at a nice hotel. There aren't going to be things trying to kill you there.
You have to get from the airport to the nice hotel.
Is there? Well, I mean, what do you think is trying to kill you there?
Like the most venomous of everything
Really?
lives in Australia, yes.
Oh, power bomb from Saturn. Roll over. This match has been pretty damn good so far. Saturn was a little hit or miss. I mean, he would have great matches and he would have not so great matches. Nice splash there. Eddie Guerrero, not so much hit or miss. He was always good.
Keeps himself in great shape. My kind of wrestler.
When he died, that was terrible. That was very sad. I don't remember what he died of. Was it a heart attack? Heart attack.
Yeah.
From all the steroids, I think.
Yeah.
He and Chris Benoit were all fucking steroided out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's a definite line from Eddie Guerrero's death to Chris Benoit's death.
Yeah. Chris Benoit never recovered from Eddie Guerrero's death. It just it took a big toll on him. You could tell he was not the same person after Eddie died. I mean, they were best friends, you know. Eric Tate here. It sucks WCW never had an outdoor pay-per-view. They did, actually. Several years. They had an event called, I think at first it was called Hog Wild, maybe. It was in August every year. And then eventually they renamed it Road Wild. So every year they have a big biker get together in Sturgis, South Dakota.
Oh yeah, that's where they all gather.
And so, you know, some of the WCW guys were bikers. Like Eric Bischoff rode a bike there, motorcycle. I mean, Hulk Hogan, I think, rode a motorcycle. Several other people. But yeah, and so they would have matches in front of the bikers, and if the bikers liked what was happening, they would like rev their engines and shit. Very strange. And sometimes they were bikers. It was weird because they didn't know what was going on. You know, most of them didn't know the angles. They hadn't been watching WCW. They've been riding their bikes and shit. So it was a strange audience, but they had, you know, a ton of people there watching. But yeah, check those out because got some nice shots of the sky and wrestling, and that's always cool. Wrestling outside is very cool. But yeah. Road Wild and Hog Wild. Let me see when it started. I think it started in like 96, maybe.
Guerrero with a drop kick, seated drop kick, so to speak, on a seated Perry Saturn is trying to get up.
We're still on his sink.
Yep, started in 1996. It was called Hog Wild. And then, like I said, after that year, they renamed it to Road Wild. So yeah, all those were outdoor. So check them out if you want to see some WCW outdoor pay-per-views.
Same heart determination. Standing switch. Good maneuver there.
And this has been a good match here. Very good. This has been the best match of the night so far.
Agreed.
He falls in the back of his neck for Saturn to hook a count.
Oh.
Only got a 2.
Damn. Harry Saturn came from ECW to WCW, so had a pretty good style that he worked. He was part of a tag team in ECW. I think they were called the Eliminators. I think it was Saturn and John Cronus. But they had some tag team success in ECW, and then Saturn came to WCW, and he was part of Raven's flock for a little bit, and then he revolted against Raven, and there's a Raven and Saturn feud. I loved Raven's flock, just a bunch of misfits, and Raven was so cool. I liked Raven when he was Johnny Polo in WWF also.
Was he a polo player? Was that his gimmick?
He was just like a rich little prick. He managed the Quebecers. I can't remember who else. So Omega Red fan here says NWO entrance with Hell's Angels on Nitro. Oh, cool. I don't remember that. That's cool though. Yeah, like I said, Bischoff and Hogan were big into motorcycles. At one point on a Nitro, I think Bischoff gifted Hulk Hogan a motorcycle.
I don't think you're allowed to say brother as much as what are you pointing at? Anyway, I don't think you're allowed to say brother as often as Hulk Hogan does, and not be a biker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Eric Tate says Adam Bomb. Johnny Polo did manage Adam Bomb, didn't he? Adam Bomb, one of my favorites in WWF. When I was a kid, I loved Adam Bomb. I loved his gimmick. He was great as a big guy. Great in the ring. Yeah, just cool. He got stuck with what most people would call, a silly gimmick, but I thought the gimmick that he was, like irradiated or whatever, I thought that was pretty fun. But yeah, I liked him. I talked to him on X several times. I've talked to Brian Clark, I believe is his real name.
Sorry, I was holding up the Witch's Brew Kit Kats because if you haven't tried them,
Yeah.
you need to flock to your nearest candy store.
Yeah, this is not a paid ad, but these Witch's Brew Kit Kats are like my favorite candy.
They're my favorite candy also. Like
definitely. They're delicious. They're green.
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. What would you call the flavor?
I think it says toasted marshmallow.
Marshmallow flavor.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have.
It doesn't have gelatin in it.
Doesn't have gelatin in it like marshmallows do.
So if you can't eat gelatin, you're good to go. They're delicious.
Eric Tate says a very nice guy. Talking about Brian Clark. Yeah, he seems like a very nice guy. I agree. Very cool. That cool guy. He had a pretty good career. He was in WCW at this point. He and Brian Adams, formerly known as Crush in WWF, they formed a tag team called Chronic. I guess they both like smoking weed or whatever. But they were a good tag team. Got the tag belts, I think, a couple times.
Wait, so he chose the name Brian Adams? Like, even though the singer existed?
I think that was his real name, I thought.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
It's not kicking now. These two good men continue to go back. Back and forth they go. Saturn hits the turnbuckle pin. And he circles around. And Saturn one step ahead and he goes face first. Up on the top.
I think Brian Adams might have died from a steroid-related heart attack also. I'm not sure on that, though. But he died young. It's good. It seems like we're kind of out of the era where wrestlers die all the time. Like before their time.
And we've had two die in the last like 2 or 3 years.
Who died?
Bray Wyatt and
Oh, yeah.
Brody Lee.
Oh, God. Never mind. We're not out of it.
MJ Briscoe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't listen to him. He's wrong.
I'm wrong.
But none of those were from wrestling, like lifestyle caused injuries. So
Yeah. Yeah, that was fucked up when Bray Wyatt died. And Dylan from Long Island Wrestling Podcast, he saw the news and he told me, and I was like, no. You know, I thought it was just some rumor or something.
yeah,
But then he was just gone. That was so sad. It was so entertaining. So creative, I thought.
Drop kicked him incredibly, and Eddie's going to go up top now.
This is so dangerous.
He's going to be
Bam. Nice superplex there.
Eddie actually sprung over the top turnbuckle instead of just dropping down to the mat that time. Unbelievable.
Oh, here comes the nature boy. He wants his watch back.
Well, thank you very much. Flair stepped into the ring. Trombone in hand as he walked into the arena.
Means business.
And the referee
he doesn't have the watch. He gave it to Bobby the Brain.
Well, he wants to punish him and get his watch back. Oh, my God. So I guess Guerrero wins by disqualification. Oh, here comes Kidman. Oh, and he got it too. Bam.
What's that made out of?
I don't know.
Stealing Kidman. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to hit him with the crowbar. Well, he dropped the crowbar.
Women are like kryptonite to this man.
This is the Ric Flair sexual assault era here.
He's got him now.
She loved it.
Ric Flair destroys two
Um,
and excites Tori with a very robust kiss, I would say, Brian.
And passionately.
And look at the smile still on her face.
do you think Wendy Richter watched this and was like, what the fuck happened? You know?
Comes the nature boy.
Ric Flair,
Again.
he's coming here.
I can hold this for you, pal.
Maybe he forgot to get his watch.
I think that's definitely what happened.
Yeah. Here, Eric says, my first WCW event was at Springfield, MO. Is that Missouri? MO?
I believe so.
Okay. That's weird. I never see that. At Springfield, Missouri, at the Shrine Mosque, February 2nd, 1990. Groundhog Day. That's cool.
There's so many M states. Is that Missouri?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It's Michigan, which is MI. Missouri, I think, is MO.
Okay.
What are the other M states? That's it?
There's the one and only nature.
Maine, Montana,
Oh, fuck, yeah. Okay, never mind.
Hold on, something's going on.
Massachusetts.
Oh, something's going on in the back, as it always is here. Someone's beating up someone. I don't know what's happening. Here comes Doug Dillinger and WCW security, and it's Goldberg beating up Sid Vicious, and Sid Vicious is bloodied, it looks like.
Like exceptionally bloodied.
Yeah. They're really hyping that match. And I tell you, my first WCW event, my folks and I were at Disney World in 1993. I just started watching wrestling that year, and we walked into MGM Studios one day, and there was a guy who was standing there, And I guess he saw him, I was a kid and whatever. Oh no, I had a WWF T-shirt on. That's what it was. And he asked us if we wanted to go to a WCW taping later that day. And I was like, I didn't say it. I was like 9 years old, but I was like, hell yes, yes, let's go. And yeah, they gave us free tickets when, WCW used to tape their shows at Walt Disney World for quite a bit. You save money. They would tell the crowd when to boo and when to cheer and all that. And actually, if you go back to our very first episode of No Bones About Wrestling, I talk more about that. My first, an audio episode, yeah, episode 1. I talk about, and that was my first wrestling event in general. Uh, did you make the audio for AEW Weekly?
I forgot about it. You all went to bed. What do you want?
You to make the audio?
I can teach you.
Eric Tate says, have you ever been to a WCW live TV taping? That's what I was just saying, Eric. But also I went to several other shows. I love WCW.
Tell me you're on TV.
Oh, yeah, and in 2000 or 2001, when the company was crumbling, they started taping Thunder on the same night as Nitro. So you got a bunch of fucking wrestling. Me and a friend got front row seats. We were like 6 feet from the announcers. So we got on TV several times that night. I forget what it was. It was in Winston-Salem, but I forget what date.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I went to, like I said, several WCW shows, yeah.
I'm gonna stop this foot right up it.
So Buff Bagwell's saying something. I missed it.
Get on the set, sitting out here. Play music, whatever.
Tony, get it done.
Jeff Jarrett. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But Jarrett never refuses a good fight either.
The fight is taking place on the outside.
So that Perry Saturn and Eddie Guerrero match, I mean, that 4.5 bones. It was out of 5. That was a pretty good match.
Well, if that Jarrett showed up last week, no one knew he was in the building. They know it now.
But wanted him and he got him. All they can do with Jeff Jarrett. And now Buff comes firing back.
So yeah, Perry Saturn took on Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero beat Saturn by disqualification when Ric Flair interfered with a crowbar, and then Ric Flair planted a kiss on Tori Wilson, and she loved it. And then she tried to take care of Perry Saturn and Kidman, who both got hit with a crowbar. And then Ric Flair forgot to get his watch back from the announcers, and then he came back and he got his watch from the announcers. And then Buff Bagwell came out. Oh no! And then we saw Goldberg beating up Sid Vicious, and Sid Vicious was very bloody. This was in the back, and Buff Bagwell now called out Jeff Jarrett. And here's Lex Luger, and he's got Jeff Jarrett's guitar, and someone's gonna die. Oh fuck! God damn! It did not break. That hurt. That hurt more than it breaking, I'm sure. Yeah, so that's your Russo recap for what's going on.
You need more joy.
I need more joy.
Yeah, when you did it for me when we watched that first Nitro or whatever with him, you were like, you seemed like you were like on speed. You were so excited about it and going so fast.
He hit him actually with the handle of that guitar.
And don't forget, he's a history of a bad neck.
All right, Mike today is following the
Lex Luger, one of my favorites.
And one of your mom's favorites. She follows him on Twitter and she talks all the time about the things that he posts. It's so cute. She's like got a little crush on him and his soul, you know?
Sid Vicious going crazy. Eddie Guerrero has a cell phone.
Ray, he sees you. Get up for what you mean. It's for you, Eddie.
It's $9.99. He's not getting no self-phone signal inside that building. When I went to college in like 2007, there was a rock on campus that you had to stand on to get cell phone service. I went to school in the mountains, but that was like you'd always see like a line of people waiting to use the rock so they could call their family.
So Eric says, I like heel Lex. Me too, but I preferred him as, Made in America Lex Luger, in WWF during that run and that feud with Yokozuna and with Tatanka.
Brad, what?
Brad Armstrong
Oh.
of the Armstrong family. That's the Road Dogg, Jesse James. That's his brother. From DX.
Yeah, I know who we're talking about.
Okay, all right. But yeah, Brad Armstrong, pretty good wrestler. Underrated, definitely. Kind of weird that he's on the card here, but whatever. I don't know who he's wrestling.
I was gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it now because I have to log into your StreamYard. I don't want to mess up your stream.
I think I support Goldberg May to push that man off the edge. That's the last man you want to push off the edge because he's so close to that edge.
Oh, it's what's his name? Is his name Berlin? Yeah,
At
Berlin.
That's Berlin.
Berlin.
Yeah. Got like the weirdest haircut I've ever seen.
Accompanied by The Wall, who eventually started wrestling. It was a pretty good big man, actually. Pretty good. And Alex Wright, I liked. And now he became Berlin. Now he's a heel. No, he's kind of like in that group Rammstein, Rammstein, whatever they were called. That song Du Hast. And Alex Wright also used to wear, little tights, and he has a giant cock. He's famous for having a giant dick. Eric says in 1993, when Lex was in WWF, he was a hot heel before face. Yeah, definitely. I think he debuted maybe at WrestleMania 9, maybe. And yeah, he was the narcissist Lex Luger and loved looking at himself in mirrors. And they would bring out multiple mirrors so he could see every angle of his body. And I think Bobby Heenan was his manager. But yeah, that was entertaining. Yeah. I like Lex face or heel. Like I said, I preferred him as a face. Just when I started watching wrestling, that's what was going on was Lex with the Lex Express trying to take away Bret Hart's title shot and him to get it and going across the country to get signatures, and he got it and he took away Bret Hart's title shot.
Look at that man's fucking hair.
Oh, Berlin?
Yes. It's like, look at the other side when you see the back of it. He's got like a reverse, like male pattern baldness haircut.
Rewind 89 says Taz has the biggest dick in pro wrestling. Trojan. I don't know. Am I a Trojan? Says, how do you specially make Triple X? I don't understand what you're saying. But I haven't heard that about Taz. I'm trying to think who I've heard had the biggest dick in wrestling. I don't remember.
He corrected, but it was a typo.
Oh, he says extra
Triple XL
large condoms for Taz. And Rewind says Taz is the GOAT. Yeah, Taz was killer, man.
He just had surgery, right?
Yeah, he just had a double shoulder replacement. No, I think it was a double knee replacement. Yeah.
That seems awful.
That
do
does
that
sound
at the same
awful.
time.
Yeah. But yeah, he was told he needs his knees and I think his shoulders replaced. But yeah, Taz, when he was in ECW, he was the shit, Great character. Going around just, killing people with different suplexes and shit. And yeah. I really like Taz. And then he went to WWF and they didn't really use him right. It was really unfortunate. Just because he was little, he's a smaller guy. Yeah, Taz was cool. Hopefully he's he says knee surgery, yeah. So hopefully he's recovering well from that. Double knee replacement. That sounds terrible. Surgery is not fun. Hopefully he's good. And they just wrote him off of AWTV. They said someone attacked him, and we don't know who. And now Hook is looking for his father's attacker.
Detective Hook.
Rewind.
Much like Batman with the signal.
Rewind says when you have a dick that big, your knees will go out. That's funny. And he says, without Taz, no Brock Lesnar. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So I can blame Taz for bringing that monstrosity to wrestling.
Well, Taz used more than one suplex.
Mhm.
He used
Yeah.
multiple suplexes.
I thought he meant he like brought him over.
No,
to wrestle.
I think he means
Like his
yeah,
style.
Yeah,
I got you.
Brock Lesnar kind of stole
The
the
suplex machine.
the character and the suplexes. Yeah, from doing all the suplexes from Taz. Yeah.
Mhm.
2, got the break. That's right, Smarty.
Oh, I say stole it. There's not really any stealing in wrestling. I mean, everybody borrows this and that and the other.
They're influenced by things.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to steal another guy's finisher. That's a big no-no. You don't do that. But otherwise, things get shared. And he says, Hook is the baby goat. Yeah, man, Hook's awesome.
Mhm.
He's tiny too, but I enjoy watching him. Yeah, he's got a lot of skill. I think if he were a larger guy, I think he would get some more. I think he would be higher on the card in AEW.
Mhm.
And maybe eventually he will. I don't know. The crowd seem to love him. I like him a lot.
He needs a manager
He needs a manager to talk for
to
him.
talk for him. Yeah, I don't like it when he talks. Like I liked it at first when he was like doing no talking at all. He would just like nod and eat chips.
Yeah.
And then when he finally started talking, I was like, oh my god, go back to the chips.
Yeah.
His character is so much better than his mic skills.
Yeah. Rewind here says, yeah, Brock Lesnar is the baby version of Taz. Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, the big advantage from Berlin.
And he's gone. Lesnar, he was accused of,
Fighting back from this one.
Negotiating a human as part of his contract.
yes, sex trafficking, and then also asking the woman for kissing pictures, allegedly.
Absolutely defenseless now.
So we'll see what comes of that. That woman, I'm not going to talk about this for very long, so don't worry. Oh, Armstrong just beat Berlin. Okay.
That's because the USA is going to win every time, Asa.
Take the referee apart.
Brandon Armstrong will win. The fans are up, and he can enjoy it for only about 5 seconds. And now look at Berlin picking up the pieces.
So yeah, Armstrong got the win. I'm gonna give that one 3.5 bones out of 5. Not too long, but it was good while it lasted. I thought both those guys are talented for sure.
I think my hat is too small for my giant head.
At the hands of the bodyguard in Berlin. Yeah, I would agree.
So that's a cool sign.
Yeah.
It's a well-drawn ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very like 1940s Disney.
Rewind says Hook is so handsome, sexy, smart, and well endowed. Lord, all right.
Fair enough.
All right. It's Nature Boy again. Yeah, so if you just tuned in, we're at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 48 seconds.
That dude looks like a funeral director.
Mike Tenay?
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
The 30th player in the game. Kidman, you and the filthy animal.
I like that Halloween Havoc microphone.
That's awesome.
Look at that shit. I want that. Look on eBay. Somebody look on eBay. See if that shit's on eBay.
And I took back my legacy. You guys don't like it. I'll be here all night long. I'll be in Phoenix tomorrow. Come fight. I'm Ric Flair, baby. Woo! Forever.
Just saw Eddie Guerrero on the phone talking to Rey Mysterio and Conan. Obviously, in the minds of the filthy animals, there's still.
That looks good. Maybe we should wear a hat all the time and then take it off.
The big strap match.
Yeah.
with DDP.
Yeah.
I got a big strap back for DDP. Filthy animals, know this.
Does it still look good?
You don't get me when I'm.
What did I do? What do I need to do?
Too much.
Huh?
Put the hat back on and then take it off again. Stop messing it around.
Bring it on, boys. Woo! Like I said, diamonds are pressed. Go with the Nature Boy. And as far as Paige
What about that?
Paige, tonight,
No.
it's a strap match. 2 minutes strap.
What about that?
Two of the very best this sport has.
I'll let you figure it.
Strap each other. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Let me tell you something. Diamond, Dallas Page. Last Monday night, when I got through spanking your wife, she looked at Nature Boy in the eyes. She went, Nature Boy, woo, Nature Boy, woo, Nature Boy.
Says Nature Boy will never be as good looking as Hook.
You were right. I should have gotten that.
And then says Mike Tenay, Hal crush on Taz. I think maybe he meant had a crush on Taz.
Nature Boy, woo.
And Eric says, how come WWE Peacock cut out some music? Yeah, I think it's just copyright. You know, which is weird, you know, because they bought WCW, so you would think they own the music.
I thought you said the music, there's a time on it.
What?
Like when you get the music for a live show like that, you get it for a certain number of years, and you have to renew your contracts for the music. That's what you told me.
Oh, well, okay. If I said that, I'll believe myself. So that sounds right.
Because then I asked you why isn't it the same for movies, and you said their contracts work differently.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember saying any of that, but I'll believe it. But yeah, so yeah, just copyright issues, and yeah, they cut out like, I don't know, I'd say like 20% of people's themes. They gave them different themes, which kind of sucks. Here comes the world television champion Chris Benoit, steroided out to the gills. Chris Benoit, one of the best wrestlers ever. He's so good.
Is this the one where it starts deflating?
I don't know.
See how it just looks like a little saggier?
No count page cut. The key to this match tonight is strap match between Ric Flair and I downstage. And Flair sitting right there is that there is no escape from your opponent, regardless of where you go. And you know, we have seen some of the wrestlers leave the ring.
Had some good matches so far.
Trying to recreate the lead area, but when you're strapped to your opponent, he is always about 10 feet away from you. There is no turning back.
I've had some strap matches.
I like the Eddie Guerrero match.
Yeah, that was the best match so far, definitely.
Have you been giving bone rating?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been missing it.
Yeah. Disco Inferno versus LaRue, 3 bones out of 5. Harlem Heat winning the tag titles, 4 bones out of 5. Eddie Guerrero beating Saturn, 4.5 bones out of 5. Brad Armstrong versus Berlin, 3.5 bones out of 5. That's what we got so far.
Formerly of the Revolution, here in Orlando, you saw earlier, drew the line in the sand, so to speak, and said, you know, we're going our own way. They have been in Japan, they have been close for a year, they trust each other, and they pull away.
This is the Steiner I got.
Yeah, now here comes, this is transphobe Rick Steiner.
Rick the Dick.
He says, Chris Benoit couldn't hold Taz's jockstrap. Go back and watch Benoit versus Taz in ECW. Okay, I will. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And this man won't back down, Benoit. He'll take a beating all night. He can just get a couple of good licks out of him.
That's what I think will make this match great. That Benoit will, either man are going to back down from the beating that is inevitable that both men are going to take here.
I need some vegetables. You want some broccoli?
Offensively oriented, and
Okay.
both men know how to
I could use some food.
Do you want cheese on your broccoli?
Yeah. Pasta would be nice.
What do you think of all this, Brady?
Can't just throw a bag in my plate for that.
He's going to make Benoit fight his way.
I'll do that. You get the bag if you want.
You want to fight me? Good work. I'll do it on my turn.
And Rewind is obsessed with dicks here. Says Eddie Guerrero is easy on the eyes, and I bet he packs a hammer in those tights. Lord.
Broccoli or peas?
Title, and then Sid Vicious and Goldberg.
Broccoli.
Right
Yeah, getting ready to have dinner. I'm not eating yet. I've just had candy for dinner.
between the two men.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. I hope you're enjoying the show. Like I said, if you enjoy this one, we did one 2 weeks ago. You can watch 98, and we did like 3 or 4 last year also, and those are on YouTube. And just go back and watch them as well.
Your fault, and then he just kind of before boots on.
I don't think he has any team left actually on that. Oh my!
So Scott Steiner has not been mentioned on this pay-per-view unless I missed it. So I don't know what was up with him at this point. Maybe he was injured. I don't know.
Or Larry, if you like to use that terminology, to a Steiner line, and that's the epitome of the.
Oh, that was nice.
What power! You know what? This is a clinic.
Yeah, the Steiner brothers were pretty damn good. Even though we found out Rick Steiner's an asshole, and he was on the school board, whatever in Cherokee County. I forget where he lives, but it's in Cherokee County. That's what it's called. And he was on the school board, and I believe he got removed or something after that came out that he was harassing a trans person, trans woman.
Way to the north right now.
Yeah, I mean you can think whatever you want, obviously, but there's no call in harassing other people. Live and let live, I say.
That's incredible.
He is incredible.
You can get her some water. Sorry, babe.
This is for the WCW Television Championship, and the crippler is trying to give it.
WCW World Television Title, which you can hardly see it, but in this picture of Arn Anderson, he has the television title,
And what a great work by Steiner.
the NWA television title, which was it was renamed WCW title. There's a Tope Suicida by Benoit.
Took quite a pounding too hitting that rail.
You know, in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes of wrestling and everything we expect.
Oh,
We're not done yet.
that guy in the front row is touching both of the wrestlers.
People still do that. I think that's creepy.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Well, especially, I forget what match it was. I think it was a Sammy match. They were like bleeding all over the place. And a fan reached out and like put his hands in their blood and then like rubbed it on himself and was like, yeah.
Wow, I don't remember
Super
that.
gross.
What do you love? What would you
But
Rewind says Scott Steiner has done so much steroids in his life. Yeah, definitely. He was crazy. Like, he looked like a comic book character or something. Says his testicles are shrinking up and went inside of him. Not like the goat Taz, who has big natural testicles. Taz is a real man. Lord in
I love
heaven.
how much you love Taz. It's so weird, but awesome.
And here Eric says Peacock needs to add more WCW Saturday night shows. I 100% agree. Yeah, that was such a nice thing, and I always watched it on Saturday night. I think it was on TBS when it was 6:05. I think on TBS. Or was it 8:05? 6:05 or 8:05 is when it came on. But yeah, I always loved Saturday night.
And Rick Steiner this time.
It used to be, for a while, it was their big show until Nitro debuted in 1995. I think, yeah, Saturday night was their big show.
But he's thinking right
I didn't put Ripley's.
Eric Tate says 5:05. That's not right.
What? 5:05 what?
Well, that's when Saturday night started.
You realize there's different time zones.
Oh, he might be in the central time zone. If you're in the central time zone, it was 5:05. Yeah, but yeah, I think it was 6:05 is when it started. I'm not sure. Huh?
I said on the East Coast.
On the East Coast, right. So if you've just joined us, we are at 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 33 seconds.
Okay, any other term for it you'd like to use?
Yeah, but we're thrown off.
Like Rick Steiner trying to slow things down here.
And you can just hear the crippler cry out in pain.
I like Benoit's tights. Is that special for Halloween?
No, I think he had tights like that a lot of times.
We haven't had any special Halloween outfits.
No, we've not. Yeah. It's weird. Some Halloween Havocs are very Halloweeny, and some are not.
I would classify this one as a very Halloweeny episode.
This is?
Well, the decorations and stuff, and
Yeah.
the fire coming out of the ring post.
Yeah.
And the spiders that they're putting on, like, the graphics.
Mm-hmm.
They're only missing the costume aspect.
It's pretty Halloweeny.
Yeah.
I think the most Halloweeny one was 1990.
Is that the one with the best intro ever?
No, that's 1993.
Okay.
Yeah, it has an intro with Tony Schiavone dealing with some trick-or-treaters.
And there's what
Rewind says, let's be honest, WCW never had a big show because they never had a goat Taz on the program. Eric Bischoff scared to death of the goat.
had the bulk of the match
Maybe Taz would have been great in WCW. Yeah,
has been
I mean he was great in ECW. I mean that was the best place. Oh fuck, that looked bad.
Yeah.
ECW was the best place for him, definitely. But you know, you gotta take the money. You know, and Paul Heyman's like bouncing checks left and right. You know, I didn't ever hate those guys for leaving for WCW or WWF. You know, because like I said, some guys didn't get paid. You know.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, bouncing checks everywhere, except for like his main wrestlers. He made sure they got paid, and then other people, you know, maybe they didn't get paid. There are stories of people not getting paid for like 2 or 3 months and shit like that.
How did they live?
I don't know.
Like, we live paycheck to paycheck. I'm assuming most lower card wrestlers do.
neighborhood. Yes, it was.
But we can still afford fancy hats.
And my Ducks jerseys.
Yeah. Priorities, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Halloween comes first, then food and water and power.
The Rewind says Taz colors are Halloween bees. Orange and black can't go wrong. I agree. Yeah, I love the.
Oh, is that why his son wears so much orange and black and Halloween?
Yeah, that's cool, right? Hook has. I never noticed it until Kay pointed it out, but yeah, he has. Hook has a jack-o'-lantern on his boxing shorts.
All year. It's not just for now. Like,
Yeah.
almost any time he wrestles, he's wearing, like, even he has like camo ones that still have a jack-o'-lantern face on the front of them. It's very cool.
In command, that's why.
Rewind says, "Are you two married?" Yes, we are. And our anniversary is Sunday. 7 years.
October 13th.
And we got married on we like horror movies and stuff like that. We love it. And we got married Friday the 13th of October 7 years ago. You know, we picked I saw there was a Friday 13th in October. I said, all right, let's do it. That seems fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, our anniversary is October 13th.
That works out well because no matter when we got married, like, we were going to have like skeletons and shit in the decorations. And so now it just made us look not super weird.
Yeah, the anniversary, we're going, I don't know, we're going to go do something during the day, something outside or
Corn
something.
maze.
What?
Corn maze.
There'll be a corn maze. And then we're going to go see Beetlejuice in the theater, which should be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then come home and have dinner because it's too expensive to eat out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe Indian.
Make Indian, you mean?
Oh, I meant go out for Indian.
Oh,
That's
we have garam
expensive.
masala.
Eric Tate said, congratulations. Thank you, Eric. That's very nice of you. Yeah, marriage, a lot of guys that I've known, complain about their wives and shit. And I never have complained about Kay. Yeah.
Or so he says. Okay.
Well, I guess that's not true. That's not true.
You complained to me about Kay
Yeah.
before.
Other people, I've never talked shit about my wife to other people.
He just talks about shit about me to me.
Well, I'm very direct.
Yeah, I know.
I
Some things that I actually really liked about him. Like, he will tell me my faults very bluntly and openly, and I know it is not out of malice, but out of sincerity.
yeah, you got to help each other improve in life. That's part of marriage. Get the bad shit gone so you can both enjoy the good stuff. That's part of it. Definitely. Yeah, I'm very direct. I've learned in life Um, I think Mark Twain had the quote. He said, an honest man doesn't have to remember anything. Because when you're, putting on a mask and lying and doing this and that, uh, you got to remember this and that, in your web of lies and all that. But I found just being direct, it makes life a lot easier. You really get to see who,
He's going to use the chair.
who's cool to deal with and who's not when you're direct with people. A lot of people don't like that. I don't really care. Rewind says, Sunday, happy anniversary. Today is Taz's birthday. That's true. Oh, I forgot about that. He's turning 57. Did you guys plan on getting married around the goat's birthday? No, we did not.
Secretly, Asa doesn't know that was my main consideration when agreeing to this date. Yeah.
Eric says, I think you are very nice people. I appreciate that, Eric. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, here's Malenko. I think he's going to hit Benoit, right? Right in the fucking head? Yeah. All those concussions for Benoit added up, and eventually he killed his family. Very sad. Very tragic. He killed his family and killed himself. Yeah. Jesus Christ. That was terrible.
What's extra sad
Rick
is
Steiner won the television title.
It's hard not to hate someone who killed their wife and child, but at the same time, he was not mentally well. He wasn't in control of what he was doing.
Right,
he wasn't
yeah.
himself.
Yeah, it wasn't like he decided,
Yeah.
I'm going to kill my family. His brain was so fucked up.
Mhm.
We found out afterwards, his brain was really fucked up, and that's why he killed his family. Very sad. Very, very terrible story. But yeah, like I said, I don't hold it against him because he was obviously,
Crazy.
Yeah, unfit mentally. Like I said, he wasn't, trying to harm. It wasn't his intent to harm anyone. Oh, and there was another hit to the head. 2 in this match. His swan dive headbutt hit the chair.
That was a very gentle headshot, though. The Malenko one, at least in slow motion, it looked very gentle. We'll see if it looks gentle from both angles. A little less gentle from that side.
Yeah, Rick Steiner, new world television champion. I'm gonna give that one 4 bones out of 5. Pretty good match. I enjoyed that. Chris Benoit is always good. He's one of the best ever, for sure. Speaking of one of the best ever, here's fucking Bret Hart.
With the coolest jersey ever?
Yeah.
What is that? Calgary.
See, Abraham Lincoln said, there's no such thing as a great liar. No one has a great enough memory to be a great liar.
Especially true post-COVID when everyone has COVID brain.
Yeah, I think I have COVID brain. Yeah, I got COVID in, what year was it? 2020?
I think you were late. Weren't you later than that?
2021?
Yeah, because I was back at school.
Yeah, I think it's like 2021. And I tell you, my brain has not been the same since then. I'm actually supposed to see a neurologist. Isn't that right? A neurologist?
That's who deals with the brain.
Okay, neurologist. Okay, a neurologist, and I need to make that appointment because like I said, I forget shit all the time, and sometimes you'll see on our shows I have trouble remembering, especially nouns, what things are called, and I never had any of those problems before COVID. So
that's why I finished so many of your sentences now.
Yeah.
And that's also why sometimes I can get Jeopardy questions before he can now. I take advantage of his newly acquired disability.
Yeah, watch out for COVID, man. That shit's serious. They found out it has, effects on your brain, which I can testify to, or it can affect your brain, I should say. And they said it increases your chances for 3 years after COVID. They've discovered now it increases your chances to have a heart attack or a stroke within 3 years of having COVID. So it really,
because there's only been 3 years of COVID.
Right, exactly. So we're still, discovering exactly what this thing does to people. And some people get it and it's nothing. And then some people get it and they're fucking dead, you know? I mean, you remember they were loading bodies into fucking trucks in Central Park. That was fucking crazy.
Mhm.
It was like a movie, you know? That was a weird time.
And then there's people like me who has superhuman blood, and so I've never had COVID.
Yeah, she has O blood,
Or
O
negative.
type blood, and they have determined that people with O type blood are far less susceptible to COVID. It's very strange. Very strange that your blood would affect it. I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand that. Rewind says you have a smart wife. She definitely believes in the GOAT. Taz is pro wrestling.
Oh, love it.
Eric Tate says sad. I think he's talking about, yeah, the Benoit. That was very sad. Rewind says, I bet Taz could have been a brain doctor. Taz just looking smart and handsome.
One thing that we can all learn from the Benoit tragedy is if you know someone that seems like they're not doing okay,
Yeah,
encourage them to get help
yeah, definitely.
because things can go bad very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, between the steroids and the
And the grief
grief over Eddie Guerrero
and the injury.
and the head injuries, the multiple concussions. Yeah, Chris Benoit was just fucked up mentally. You know, it's terrible story.
Watch this, right there.
Ooh.
Are we getting ready to see? Is it Hart versus Luger? Oh fuck yes! Okay, cool.
I have to check it the broccoli.
Bret Hart, to me, one of the, a lot of people, think he is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But he's top 5 for me. He's just so good, such a good. I mean, he's like an artist in the ring, like someone like Will Ospreay or that. Just they turn wrestling into an art. He's a great seller. His offense looks good. And I tell you, he wrote a book called I think it was called Hitman Hart: My Real Life in the Cartoon World of Wrestling. And if you like reading wrestling books, it's probably the best like wrestling biography I've read. No, Bret Hart's book is better. Yeah, Bret Hart's book was very interesting. Talk about his family, talk about Stampede Wrestling, WCW, WWF. He had a lot of things going on, and he talks about Owen Hart dying, of course. And, but yeah, great book. Like I said, check out Bret Hart's book if you like wrestling books for sure. And Rewind says, sounds like your wife has some Taz blood, superhuman and bulletproof.
They're hitting back on the way again, Tony. Nope, change the direction. He's throwing Luger back to the ring. The total package. He knows he has to beat him in that ring. He's not going to beat him on the floor. He may soften him up on the floor, but that's where you're going to win.
Oh, boy. Headbutt.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we are at 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 53 seconds on Halloween Havoc 99. Been a pretty good show so far, I think. A lot happening. That's a Vince Russo show. This happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. Somebody runs in, and it's a lot to keep up with, man. Ric Flair wants his watch back, and Rey Mysterio is injured, and Bret Hart wants revenge, and we got Sting versus Hogan, and Lex Luger's hitting people with a fucking guitar, and Rick Steiner wins the television title, and 3-way false count anywhere match, and just lot going on. I like it. The Vince Russo pay-per-views were pretty good. They were much better than the Nitros, where, like I said, the Monday Nitros Vince Russo did. A lot of the undercard matches were like 3 minutes long, 3.5 minutes long, and would end with interference and shit. And
Really stretch the arms and legs.
Their entrances were like longer than matches.
yeah, Kay said their entrances were longer than their matches, and sometimes that was true. But like I said, I think we're gonna start a show where we go through the Vince Russo WCW era. So if you want to join me, it'll be a good time. And of course I'll do my Vince Russo show recaps. Eric says, I still think if Owen Hart stayed in WCW, he would be here today. What? Owen Hart was in WCW? I don't remember that. I've never heard that. Never heard that. When? I have no memory of that. And Rewind says Bret Hart's book is the best wrestling book ever written. And the reason is the WWE had nothing to do with it. He could speak his mind without consequences. Yeah, very, very well put. And some of the wrestling books, like Stone Cold's, Austin's personality did not come through in it. You know, it seems like the writer with him, did most of the work. But in Bret Hart's book, you can tell it's Bret Hart's feelings and his voice, talking about things. And yeah, it's very interesting. And then he talks about beautiful girls he met here and there and that, and cheating on his wife and all that shit. But yeah, like I said, very interesting book. Definitely check it out. I read it. It's cheaper as like an ebook. That's how I read it. Yeah, highly recommend it. And right now I'm reading a book called Nitro by Guy Evans. It's the history of WCW from, in the Nitro era, 1995 to 2001. And that is probably the best wrestling book I've read. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. And he talks to Eric Bischoff. He talks to backstage people. He talks to wrestlers. So it's not like rumors and shit. He goes direct to the sources and finds out what was going on in WCW at the time. So very interesting book. Like I said, it's called Nitro.
I just started a book called Solving History's Greatest Medical Mysteries. One of my students picked it out for me. It's very interesting. The first story is about a pharaoh in ancient Egypt that was called the human praying mantis because he was so deformed he looked like a praying mantis.
Let's see. So Eric says Owen was in WCW in 1991. I got to check that out. I had no idea. I've never heard that, honestly. Never heard that. I'm trying to think when he signed with WWF. I know he was around in 93. I think he was around in 92 also. Rewind here says I bought the book 13 years ago, talking about Hart's book. Yeah, it came out a while ago. I read it, I think it was last year I read it. I've got for Christmas and my birthday, I got a ton of wrestling books to make my way through. I've got Moxley's book. I've got the Young Bucks book. What else have we got over there?
Did you already read Jericho's new book?
Oh, I have like 3 of Chris Jericho's books. His first book, I forget what it's called, but Jericho's first book is awesome.
Did you finish Slobber Knocker?
Who is that?
That's Jim Ross.
Jim Ross. Yeah, I finished that. Jim Ross's book it's called Slobber Knocker. That was good. And then there's a book written by, I think his name is Brian Gerwitz, Gerwitz, and he was the head writer for WWE in like a really shitty era of WWE. But he was like the Rock's writer. He would help Rock with his promos and stuff. Yeah, that's a very interesting book too. I forget what it's called, but like I said, Brian Gerwitz wrote it, and it's all about his time as the head writer. Yeah, I love the wrestling books. Just you get so much. There's so many interesting stories in pro wrestling. It's such a weird world, What else have I got over there? I don't know. I've got like 10 wrestling books to read. I've read several. I've read, two or three of Foley's books, and I read Ric Flair's book. Ric Flair's book is really good. I haven't read Hogan's yet. I definitely am going to read Hogan's book. Yeah, like I said, right now I'm reading that Nitro book, and then I started John Moxley's book, and his book is fun. Like I said, you can definitely hear his voice. Like he wrote it, definitely Moxley. Um, I'm not far into it, like 20 pages into it, but it's pretty good so far. And then after a chapter, he'll like have a page that's talking about some album he likes. Oh my God, Luger just beat Bret Hart with a single leg crab.
No way. After what happened at the Hands the Ball back Monday, after what happened apparently going out of the ring, and then the head grab that time was the end for Bret Hart.
Elizabeth's happy. He had a fight on his hands, though.
He's got her mad. He'll celebrate this one. There's going to be more fight left in Bret Hart down the road, though, but not tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know if people know this, but Lex Luger was in the NFL very shortly. I think maybe the Chicago Bears, maybe someone else, but yeah, Lex Luger was in the NFL. I don't know what position he played. But yeah, so Luger gets the win over Hart there. That was a good match. 4 bones out of 5. All the matches have been pretty good so far, except I wasn't a big fan of the Disco Inferno match, but otherwise everything's been good. It's been a fun show.
With all due respect, Bill Goldberg, do you feel that your actions of earlier tonight have made Sid Vicious even more dangerous than ever before?
Let me tell you something today. You see that? You see that? I get paid to
You let me in?
ass.
Huh?
As far as Sid's concerned,
You're gonna let me in?
What?
Are you going to let me in?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Please go.
Wow, just say this.
Yeah, Kay's back. Rewind says Taz never needed a Ghost Rider. We need a Taz book. Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. Yeah. ECW. Oh, here comes Medusa. Lord. With the, I think this is the WCW perfume.
Oh. What does that smell like?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what it is.
Generally.
Medusa looks pretty goddamn good. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to agree to disagree.
And of course, in WWF, she was known as Alundra Blaze, and she was the world champion there a couple times. Good wrestler, Medusa, very good wrestler.
Does she have a drug problem?
I believe she did have a drug problem, yeah.
She looks like she has a drug problem.
And eventually here in WCW, she wrestled men. Like they did a world title tournament, and Medusa was in it for the world title. Very interesting. And now she's getting on top of the announce table. Jesus.
Was that before China was wrestling?
Eric says, "Did you ever like WCW games?" Oh, fuck yes. Like video games? Fuck yeah. My favorites. I love WCW versus NWO World Tour. I loved it. I mean, it was kind of a limited roster, but that it was that AKI engine, and just it felt good. It felt like a wrestling match. It went with the pace of a wrestling match. Awesome. At the time, it was the best wrestling game ever made. And you could do, I would always do 4-way matches to get all these stars in it, and then you could make people bleed. It was awesome. You hit them and they would bleed, and then they like touch their head, like, oh my God, I'm bleeding, and then fall. And then after that, 1998, they did WCW NWO Revenge, which to me, a lot of people like WWF No Mercy the best. It has storylines and this and that, create a wrestler and stuff. So it had more options, but WCW NWO Revenge to me is the best wrestling game ever made. It was a big upgrade from the WCW versus NWO World Tour, and the roster is just amazing. Bret Hart, Hollywood Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Kevin Nash, Sting, Rey Mysterio Jr., Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero Jr., just et cetera, et cetera. It was a big roster with the big star, Rowdy Roddy Piper, with the big stars and the cruiserweights. Just WCW had such a great roster in 1998, and that game reflects it. And you could do different pay-per-views with the entrances, Bash at the Beach or Halloween Havoc or whatever. I love that game. I have a Nintendo 64 plugged up right now with that game. That game stays in the 64. Um, and sometimes I've streamed it in the past, and now that I'm talking about it, I think I'll do that again. I love that game.
Once you get him start talking about wrestling, like WCW video games, it never ends.
And
It's
then,
gonna wait. No, it's gonna end long enough for me to say. So, did they just advertise their own like perfume by having her dump it on Bobby the Brain, who then said how it smells literally like shit?
uh-huh.
It's an odd sales tactic.
And I'll tell you another wrestling game. And then, of course, WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy. Very good. I just preferred the WCW roster. And I'll tell you a game I really liked recently, and most people disagree with me, but the AEW Fight Forever, I love that game. It has some flaws. It's not perfect, but it's a great game. It's a lot of fun. The storyline mode is fun. You 3 or 4 times through it, and then you've seen everything. Yeah, the story mode is fun. Of course, the roster is good. They've expanded it, and it felt kind of like WCW NWO Revenge. Matches are pretty short. The way everything's set up, it's not realistic in that way. But
Fight Forever?
Fight Forever, yeah. They're a lot of the matches, if you can play well, are pretty short.
I can't play well.
I'm pretty goddamn good at that game. But yeah, I love that game. And like I said, I'm in the minority. I know a lot of people hate that game, and AEW is looking for a different video game company to make their next game. Yeah.
That's a shame.
It didn't turn out the way they wanted. And Kenny Omega at one point was having input, but I've heard that they pretty much just ignored his input, and then eventually he just was not part of the process at all.
Oh, that sucks.
And the game, it got delayed a couple times.
Yeah.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, some of the matches, if you're good, are pretty short, but it feels like a wrestling match. And they've got everybody's moves in there, and you got Create a Wrestler, and a lot of people complained it didn't have enough modes, but it was like a flashback to those games in 1998, 1999. It was definitely aimed at like older gamers like me who remember that era fondly. But yeah, I love that game. Fight Forever. Very good.
You said that game's not perfect. What games would you say are perfect? Not just wrestling, but I mean like in general.
Oh, whew,
Are there many that you would consider perfect?
not many.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario World,
Can I tell them about you and Super Mario Brothers?
the first Legend of Zelda, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, WCW NWO Revenge, NBA Maximum Hang Time.
I'm gonna add
Probably
Skyrim and all of its DLCs. Well, except the PlayStation version had a bug where you could accidentally kill someone that was like essential to get all of the shouts. And so it locked me out of getting a like full completion trophy. So I'm a little bitter about that, but that game's the shit. So I'm gonna interrupt Asa and tell you guys that he is currently 19th in the world at Super Mario Brothers.
The first Super Mario
The
Brothers.
first Super Mario Brothers. He used to be 6th, but that was many years ago.
Yeah.
And so people have since beaten his score.
And when was that? That was like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And so if you know, there are several sites that keep video game records, like world records, but the authority on it, the ones who've been doing it the longest, bless you, are Twin Galaxies. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
So if you want to know the records for old games, like I like games where you get a score, and you can improve yourself, and you've improved because you get a better score. But they, Twin Galaxies, they keep records for like every system, every game. It's amazing. And as Kay said, yeah, I'm very good at the Mario games, except Mario 2. That's still tough for me. That's a weird game. But yeah, I used to be 6th ever in Super Mario Brothers. But as she said, people keep passing me. Like, I don't know. I gotta watch some of their runs or something because I don't know where they're getting all these extra points from. I thought I'd kind of perfected it, but obviously I'd not. So I want to stay in the top 20. I want to go back up. I have not been like, if you want to do that, you got to play it every day. You got to play it every day.
I can't remember the last time you played.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then another perfect game I'll tell you is versus Super Mario Brothers, which was in the arcade, and you can get it on I think on the what's the system called?
Switch?
Yes, thank you. On the Switch you can get it. And versus Super Mario Brothers was an arcade game that was very similar to Super Mario Brothers, like the backgrounds and the enemies and stuff like that, but everything was in a different place, and it's way harder. Like they intentionally made it much harder.
I'm terrible at it. I mean, I'm terrible at regular Mario, but this is like, he tried to get me to play him in it, and it's not even worth his time.
But Rewind says she'll never, talking about Medusa, she'll never be as attractive as Taz, and Taz never had a drug problem. Eric says WCW Mayhem was good. I had that. It wasn't my favorite. It was interesting. They tried something different. You had all those like different areas you could fight in the parking lot and this and that. In the ring. I forget where else, like in the hallways of the arena and stuff like that. I mean, that was cool, and it had a good roster, and it was fun, but it wasn't great for me. But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Wait, is this the main event?
No.
Oh,
Again,
Goldberg's the main event.
if you're just joining us, we are at 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 50 seconds. And here we got the world title match, and Hulk Hogan is lying down for Sting, the world champion Sting.
Can you imagine if you thought you were going to see Sting and Hulk Hogan wrestle?
Sting wins.
And that is the fucking shit they did?
So that gets 0 bones.
Oh, the first thing ever.
First
It's
0 bones ever. What a bunch of shit. And look, they didn't even explain it. Why Hulk Hogan laid down
Why
for
did
Sting.
they lay down? Do they explain it eventually?
I don't remember.
Was that the first time in WCW they did the lay down thing? And that just Russo really liked that or something?
No, they did what was called, a lot of people thought was the beginning of the end. In I think it was 99, they did the finger poke of doom, where Kevin Nash was defending the world title against Hogan. I think it was Hogan, yeah. And Hogan just like touched Kevin Nash and he sold it and he went down, and then Hogan pinned him and won the world title. And it turns out everything they'd been doing was just to create a new, like, super version of the New World Order. So that, a lot of people didn't like that. And like I said, a lot of people thought that was the beginning of WCW's
Demise.
Yeah, demise, yeah. Rewind says, this dude loves wrestling video games more than I love Taz, LOL. I love him, man. In 1998, like, all I did was, like, smoke weed and play wrestling games.
Allegedly smoke weed.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's all I did in 1998, I tell you. That was a good time. Because, like, I would always do my fucking, I was in high school then, and I would always do my homework at school. Because I didn't want that shit in my fucking home, Fuck that shit. Ruining my life, like, fuck that.
I just didn't do it. That was my
Yeah.
out of bring homework home. I just pretended like it didn't exist.
Rewind says, never mind this, guys. I don't know what that means. Rewind says, loves all video games. I love a lot of video games. I'm not as big on the newer games. I like games, there are games on the newer systems that have retro feels and stuff like that. Like Cuphead is really good.
I like the newer games.
I like cave games. If you don't know what cave games are, look that shit up. That's the developers. Cave. They're these shooting games. They're like bullet hell shooting games. There's Mushi Himasara Futari, which is a great one.
Are these the shooters you play on your phone?
Yeah, they're on iPhone and maybe Android. I'm not sure. But yeah, just look it up, like Cave video games. and they got these great shooters. And I can't remember the names of the others right now, but they have several, and they're all awesome.
Or if you like actual cave video games, I recommend Splunky.
What?
Splunky.
Never heard of it.
It's a video game that takes place in a cave. It's like a side-scrolling game.
Rewind says, "Did you two meet at the Blockbuster video game section?"
No, but funny enough, he did work at Family Video shortly after we started dating.
Yep. That was a fun job. It felt like it was the fucking 90s. I worked at a video store in a little town called Archdale, North Carolina. And we got to put on like whatever tape we wanted, as long as it didn't have, cursing or nudity. We got to put on, I say tape, DVD. We got to put on whatever DVD or Blu-ray we wanted during the day. And so most of the time is a pretty fun job, most of the time.
We met on the internet. A little more modern than Blockbuster Video.
Yeah, met on the internet on OkCupid, I think it was.
Yeah.
Which is weird, just random. I'd never tried like online dating, but like all I was meeting were like crazy girls, and I was just like, this isn't working. So then I was like, let me try online. Let's see what's up with that, because you can answer all these questions, and then they match you up, with someone. Like you can answer as many questions as you want. You can answer like 300 questions if you want, to get like a really good match. And then it matched us, and we were like, what, it was like 98%, 95%, something like that, which is way higher than anyone else on there. And yeah, that's how we met. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought about this before, but like, you never met Hannah, but like, because she died, that's why I started dating online. Because like, I vowed to like live my life more like her, and she was a very like open person to new experiences, and so some of my friends and I decided to online date like Hannah did, and then I met you. You want to say hi? No.
I am more ready than I've ever been. And here they come up, the police. Ushering in Goldberg. I don't think this town has enough police.
So smart.
But
the police escort.
Oh yeah, Goldberg's entrance is one of the best of all time. And then he stands in the sparks, and then he breathes in the smoke, which can't be good, but it looks awesome. And then he exhales it. Like I said, I love Goldberg. I know a lot of people hate on the internet. There's got a lot of Goldberg hate and shit, but man, just such a magnetic character. So just like hyped and energy, and
Has that always been the case that people on the internet have hated Goldberg, or is that since he dropped Undertaker in Saudi Arabia?
oh, is that Scott Hall? That is Scott Hall beating up Goldberg and Kevin Nash. So, all right, for the update, Brad Armstrong in Berlin had a USA versus Germany match, and Berlin was accompanied by the Wall, and Armstrong pinned Berlin. That was 3.5 bones out of 5. And then after that, we had a World Television title match, which was pretty good. It was 4 bones out of 5. And the champion, Chris Benoit, lost to Rick Steiner, and Rick Steiner won the belt. And after that, we had Lex Luger versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Lex Luger was accompanied by Elizabeth. Lex Luger beat Hart by submission to a single leg crab because Hart's knee had been attacked earlier in the week with a baseball bat. And that was 4 bones out of 5. And then we had a WCW World title match where the world champion Sting took on Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan came out in street clothes, and he laid down for Sting. And Sting pinned him to keep the world title. And that was 0 bones out of 5. That was awful. And then we had the U.S. title match now with Goldberg and Sid Vicious, who was still bloodied from Goldberg's attack on him earlier. And, yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah, this should be a good one. I like both of these guys.
What can you really say? What can you say? I mean, you're seeing what's happening in your face. Two of the biggest names in wrestling history going
I don't like Sid Vicious because he allegedly tried to murder Anderson, who I love.
Yeah, they were.
Not kayfabe.
Yeah. They. It was. God, I forget what year. It was in the '90s, and Arn Anderson and Ric Flair and Sid Vicious were at the hotel bar. I think they were in London. They were in England somewhere, I believe, somewhere in England. Anyways, and they were all three at the hotel bar, and then Sid Vicious was, I think he was kind of talking about how he should be bigger on the card and he should get paid more. And then I think Arn and Rick were like, "No, dude, you're where you need to be." And so he really got pissed off. And whatever was said, Sid Vicious went to Arn Anderson's hotel room later, and he brought scissors with him uh, to attack Arn. And Arn ended up with, I forget how many, like 47 puncture wounds. So who knows what happened? If it was self-defense by Sid, or Sid just straight up attacked him. I don't know. And Sid ended up with some puncture wounds as well. From Arn.
Yeah.
Allegedly, Arn defending himself. And Sid Vicious was supposed to become the world champion. They had already even filmed part of TV with him with the world title belt, but then that never aired. And the Sid Vicious world title, he was supposed to beat Vader for the world title. It was 1993. That was the year, and he was supposed to beat Vader for the world title. But then they changed it. They were like, "Nope, we fucked up, Sid." And then they changed it to Ric Flair beating Vader for the world title at Starrcade '93. Very good match.
And then they were like, "But we like money, so we're gonna let you keep wrestling in our company, even though you tried to murder someone."
Yeah. And Rewind here says, "I've been on the dating app for 2 years, and all I meet are crazy chicks. LOL. I was on OkCupid. I met a chick, and we had 98% chance. And she was the most stuck-up, pretentious person I've ever met." God, I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, it's hard, man. To meet the right one. It's tough. Yeah. Eric Tate says, "How come Hogan laid down?" I don't know. I don't know what was up with that. I know I've heard it at some point, but I don't remember what was up with that.
Have you gotten to this in your Nitro book yet? Or did they not talk about the pay-per-views?
Yes. No, I got to it in my Nitro book. Well, shit, maybe I can.
That's right. Then you want me to get it?
Yeah. Hey, is gonna get my Nitro book, and we'll try and find out why Hogan laid down. Man, Sid really bleeding here. So yeah, this is the book I was talking about. Nitro, by Guy Evans. Great book, very good. If you like WCW, check this book out. It's pretty thick. It covers a lot. It covers, like I said, like 6 years of WCW. I think earlier I said this was Vince Russo's first WCW show. It was not. It was his first pay-per-view with the company.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe you told me that and then said show.
I think I advertised the show that way.
Oh.
Yeah, this is his first pay-per-view. Okay, let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, we watched his first show
the
other day. I did not like it. The wrestling was so short. There were a ton of matches, but they were like 3 minutes, maybe less.
But the main event they would give those time,
I don't think I stayed for the main event. I think I gave up on it before then.
Okay, let's see. Okay. To play up the online rumors surrounding Belaya's dissatisfaction. That's Hulk Hogan's real name is Terry Bollea. To play up the online rumors surrounding Belaya's dissatisfaction with his planned new role, he was asked not to appear at the arena before the show began. Halfway through the pay-per-view, Bollea had still yet to arrive at the building, causing confusion on the part of backstage staff. At 9:47 p.m., a full hour remaining in the broadcast, Hogan's music then played as announcers Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan gazed at their format. 22 minutes had been allotted for the contest, 4 for the entrances, 18 for the match. But as Hogan's American Made song echoed throughout the arena, the challenger was nowhere to be found. Improvising, Heenan tried his best to make sense of the delay, saying, "I bet he's pulling a power play. I bet he's back there with the powers that be saying, I'm going on last." Let's see. Let me try and get to the point here. Yeah, they just wanted to show Hogan's dissatisfaction with the new writers. And it says, following the script, he then immediately got up, walked through the curtain, left out a garage door, stepped into a limousine, and exited the building. He had been present at the arena for exactly 5 minutes. For Russo and Ferrara, the stunt ostensibly achieved 2 objectives. 1, removing Hulk Hogan from television for the foreseeable future, and 2, creating a tsunami of online chatter concerning their, quote, backstage disagreement. It was certainly a memorable moment, but not as enduring as another image from the same show, which I'm not going to say because it's a spoiler. But so that's what was up with Hogan laying down.
Stoppage for too much blood. That's the first time I've seen that.
And Goldberg wins the United States title. Oops.
It's an advantage of having blonde hair as a wrestler. Like when you bleed, it looks way cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Sid never said no. He never said he gave up. He cursed Mickey J when he asked him to give up.
Here it is. Referee Mickey J has stopped the match. The winner and new WCW Champion.
Oh, the referee's got blood on him. Gross.
So rewind here says Hogan laid down because he's no Taz. Taz will fight until he can't fight anymore. Beat me if you can, survive if I let you. Yeah, that was his catchphrase.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And Eric here says in 1990 at WrestleMania 6, Hogan was going to turn heel and WWF said no. And yeah, that was of course the comments aren't going right. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. And of course, that was the match Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. I believe it was for the World and Intercontinental titles. I think it was for both belts, and Ultimate Warrior won. I did not know Hogan was supposed to turn heel there. I never heard that. So that's interesting. Definitely would not have been a smart move. You know, Hogan was still drawing money. Ultimate Warrior's popularity did not last too long. He wasn't an enduring figure like Hogan. So I'm gonna give that match 4 bones out of 5. Another good match. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's been a good show. Don't you think so, okay?
Yeah.
An entertaining show for sure. God, Goldberg's got blood all over his stomach.
Rain, you know the rules as well as I do. Pinfall, submission, or if you cannot continue, you lose.
You go tell that to Sid Vicious.
Oh,
You go tell me.
I'm not.
You go tell me he got beat.
I tell you what I'll tell Sid Vicious. I'll tell that he gave it the fight of his life tonight, and he would not stay down. He did not even want to have help back to the dressing room.
And he pushed Steiner away. He wanted to come back for more. Talk about a glutton for punishment.
Oh, we've never seen anything like that finish, and I know you have been.
But look at the ring inside. It looks like the Garage Sport, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
All right, we are moments away from the strap match. And here's what happened Monday.
Oh wait, I thought that was the main event.
No. No. Excuse me. Oh, fuck.
You out here.
We got
Don't come out until I tell you.
35 minutes left.
We are gonna have a lot of fun.
Here, Rewind says, I'm going to get off. I have to get up early tomorrow. Yeah, me too. Jesus. Thanks for having me on and putting up with all my Taz love. Good night. Yeah, you were very entertaining, very funny.
Thank you for joining us.
And for those of you who have just joined us, we're at 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 30 seconds into the show.
The boy couldn't make it, but think about it, live in that color. And tonight, honey, you're going to get the 14 times spanking. If your daddy
Wait, so she was meaning David Flair, she thought?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Yes.
Very famous scene in Nitro Noise, not even we go. But it is funded.
Yeah, next I think we got the strap match, Flair versus DDP. Oh, well, fuck. Here comes Sting. Oh, I remember what happens here. Okay.
Right. I don't know.
Sting not happy.
But this thing that happened with Hogan today is not the thing. That's about what we just said. It blows our mind.
He threw the belt on the ground.
I did not come to Las Vegas for a night off. I came to Las Vegas for a fight.
This seems like a face promo.
Yeah.
Is this when he goes back to being a face?
I don't remember.
So what I'm saying is that there's anybody, and I mean anybody,
If Disco Inferno comes out, I'm going to be so mad at you.
that can hear what the Stinger is saying. I'm saying I came to Vegas for a fight. So later tonight, I'm going to come right back here in the middle of the ring, waiting for somebody, anybody, to show up here for a fight.
Wait, so now is there a different main event?
Showtime.
Yes. Sting versus an open challenge wrestler.
But Sting, the world champion, has made a very
Dude, that guy's like a crazy Sting makeup.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a world title bout. Who the opponent will be? I tell you, an open challenge like that, they're all going to be clamoring to get to it, I would think.
might be 20 guys out here in the ring by the time he gets back.
Oh. So, yeah.
So we had a WCW 9 States title match, and Sid Vicious was the champion, and he lost to Goldberg. They stopped the match because there was so much blood. And then eventually, Rick Steiner, the world television champion, he came in and, was trying to help Sid out. And that was 4 bones out of 5. And then Sting came back out with a world title belt and seemed like he was cutting a face promo and put out an open challenge for later in the night for the main event of Halloween Havoc.
With the match to be won by pinfall or submission. Introducing
Yeah, we got a strap match, pinfall or submission. Sometimes in a strap match, you would have to take your opponent and hit their head on all 4 turnbuckles. But that is not.
I thought you'd have to just touch the turnbuckles.
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Yes, you just touch the turnbuckles.
Because one year someone was dragging someone behind them, and unbeknownst to them, the person behind them was also tapping the turnbuckle when they pulled them around.
Yeah, I don't remember what match that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WCW for a number of years. The strap match has usually been drag your opponent around the 4 corners, but I've been informed that that's not going to be the case. It's going to be like pinfall or submission. The only difference is the strap keeps them
I love when wrestlers are like tricksy like that,
Like what?
like sneakily doing something unbeknownst to their opponent to get one over 'em.
What happened?
With the tagging of the turnbuckles that we were just talking about. Or we went to an indie show, and like one of the heels had a weapon that the ref was like, I'm going to take away your weapon. He had pulled it out from a turnbuckle. And as soon as the ref saw it, he took it and started to like go put it on the side of the ring. And while the ref's back was turned, he had hidden two weapons inside the turnbuckle. So he pulled out another one, and that one he used while the ref was dealing with the first one. And I was just so impressed with how clever that was.
Who was that?
Oh, I'm not going to remember his name. Don't remember.
Nature Boy out here. I guess.
Little Nate.
And right, Little Nate is the ref. But yeah, Ric Flair. It's always hard for me to pick my favorite of all time because I like so many different guys. But Ric Flair may be it.
How are you even remotely pretending like it's not Ric Flair?
Oh yeah, it's Ric Flair. I guess it's definitely Flair.
I thought so when we first like hung out at his house, there was a picture in his room of him and Ric Flair. And I was like, "Oh, is that your grandpa?"
I don't know where that picture is. I was asking yesterday my mother.
It's not still on the wall at the house.
It
All
may
your,
be.
all
It
your
may
stuff
be.
is still on that wall.
No, it may be. I'll take a look. Yeah, I would like to have that picture again. It was me shaking Ric Flair's hand, and I've met several celebrities and wrestlers, and never really acted like a weirdo or anything with him. But Ric Flair, I was just awed, to meet him.
Oddly
I
enough,
shake his hand, and so like it was like surreal to be there with Ric Flair in the flesh. So yeah, so cool.
what's weird is like I thought he was your grandpa, but he reminds me so much of my grandpa. Like that energy level, and even like the wooing,
Yeah,
and the little dances that he does and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa was a fun guy.
All right.
Not the like lady killer, creepy rich guy thing, but the just that level of like fun and energy and life.
Eric says 2001 WCW was going to have pay-per-view called The Big Bang. It never happened. Yeah, it was Eric Bischoff who they brought back, and they were planning to have a pay-per-view called The Big Bang, where they were going to reset everything. Because that's what Eric Bischoff said needed to happen. He said, just fuck all this shit. We're starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Big Bang was going to be. Like, I think they were going to vacate all the titles and have title matches and things. And then, just all the storylines were supposed to stop. And like I said, they're starting from scratch.
Oh, was this what he proposed with that company that he thought was going to buy them?
Yes.
So it was like a Japanese company or something?
I don't know about that. I don't think so.
I thought in the Death of WCW, or the Who Killed WCW documentary, that's what they said.
I don't think it was a Japanese company, no.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what was up. Yeah. And it never happened. And then, of course, WCW was bought by Vince McMahon, and that was just fucked up. That was terrible.
God, it's risky to do a strap move like against the rail by the audience,
Why?
Because you want to accidentally hit someone in the audience in the face with like a leather strap.
It's on the ticket. You get hurt. It's no one's fault.
Well, it is someone's fault, but they're not liable for it.
Right. We got these two going through the crowd here.
This is like a real going through the crowd. Like they're not in an aisle, right? It looks like they're just like going through the seats.
Yeah. So best match so far, I think, was the Eddie Guerrero versus Perry Saturn match. Yeah, that was very good. But this will be a good one.
My phone is going to die.
So yeah, I think we've got. So yeah, if you just joined us, we are at 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 39 seconds. So yeah, we got 26 minutes left. Yeah, so I think we have the strap match here, and then we have the main event of Sting's Open Challenge.
I mean, everyone tonight is back on the ringside seat.
You're back.
I'll be right back.
You're back, Philip. Cool. I would just like to take a minute while this is happening to poor DDP to say I love DDP. What he has done with his DDP yoga is so awesome. And it's helped so many people like change their lives. Like people who couldn't walk can fucking walk again without surgery, and that's just amazing. I mean, some people do it in like concert with having surgery, but it's really cool. It has back problems, so I got him DDP yoga, and it was very difficult. God, Ric Flair is like a monster.
He got kissed right on the forehead.
Dude, DDP better be winning this. You can't let the like molester come out victorious. But it's Vince Russo, so who the fuck knows?
That's in the ring area they go. Oh! Talking about the legs can't get squeezed.
Oh.
What it does, and we heard a little example of that as they just cut the back of Ric Flair.
Well, it's just rawhide, you know. It's wet. It's like a double-edged sword.
It's weird, like hand movements and things like that used to be super insults that like I don't have any idea what they mean now.
And an open target ahead of Ric Flair, hammered by Diamond Dallas Page.
Tony, he was open Flair up.
Yeah, Flair's hurt. Flair's cut Flair's.
So things I know about DDP while this match was happening. He was a bartender. I think he actually owned a bar in New Jersey, and then he started to get into wrestling, and he met Bam Bam Bigelow at his bar, and he like got Bam Bam Bigelow into the wrestling scene. Was it Jersey where his bar was?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big Jersey guy. Loves Bruce Springsteen and all that stuff.
That's why he bought a Bings.
Yeah. The king of Bada Bing.
What you got over there? Mystery flavor?
Yeah, I've got the
Oh, is that the voodoo?
Mountain Dew 2024 Voodoo mystery flavor.
Oh, I never noticed they spelled it like that. That's funny.
Like what?
Like with Mountain Dew instead of DOO.
Yeah. The Voodoo. It's a mystery flavor. I've had it already, but I forget what it tastes like now. Man, this has a lot of sugar in it.
Well, yeah, babe, it's soda.
It has a lot. It has way more sugar than most sodas. This is 73 grams of added sugars, which is 146% of your daily value.
You better stop eating them Kit Kats then.
Flair bleeding now.
I was telling them about DDP yoga.
Yeah.
And how awesome it is.
Yeah, I need to start doing that again.
And I told them about him getting Bam Bam Bigelow into wrestling. I learned that on Dark Side of the Ring, which if you haven't watched those shows, they're totally worth checking out. Especially if you know nothing about old wrestling like me. I want to try it.
It's good, but I'm not sure what the flavor is. It's kind of like a Starburst. Maybe like an orange Starburst or something like that.
Tastes like Smarties.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Let's say orange.
No, wait. Sweet tarts.
Sweet tarts.
Sweet tarts, yeah.
Orange sweet tarts or just sweet tarts?
I'd say lemon sweet tarts, if anything.
Lemon.
Like when you put like a lemon and a berry in your mouth at the same time.
I guess it is a little lemony.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got a yellow top. Maybe that's a clue.
Let's
see what it says.
Guess what?
Kind of tastes like a pixie stick too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a very candy I don't particularly like flavor, you know?
I like it. Well, there's no clues on the ingredients list.
For a number of years, and I've been here at WCW.
Yeah, it's going to say like natural and artificial flavor.
This
right?
bottle says, "We're here to help. MountainDew.com or 1-800-433-2652. Help with what?
Tell them we need money for our car insurance. See if they'll cough it up, you know?
All right.
Worth a try.
Yeah.
I hear you're here to help.
Now, Paige, right now, Paige has absolutely no. This is what I was talking about.
Pretty good match here going.
Mm-hmm.
Had a pretty good feud here between these two.
Does he still do stuff with AEW? Not Ric Flair. DDP, or was that just when Cody was there?
I haven't seen him in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess he doesn't. And Flair's so good for so many years.
We have seen. There's a new meeting for the Green Monster. Yeah, we have seen the future.
I mean, he makes himself look good and his opponents look good, which is the whole point of the thing, you know?
Unlike anything we've ever witnessed, it is. Unlike any wrestling we've ever seen, it's.
Was that like in-ring heart attack he had during a promo? Was that kayfabe, or did he really have a heart attack in the ring while he was doing the promo?
Kayfabe.
Okay. That's what I thought.
And tomorrow we go right to the Nitro in Phoenix.
Yeah, it's been a good show.
Flair clipped the leg.
Been an interesting, some interesting booking, some good storylines. A little backstage stuff, but not too much. I think it's been a very good show, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed it.
I'm about to upset now.
I haven't seen this in a while.
I'm going to join your Aces.
Uh-oh.
Everyone.
And now 54. And then. What is it? Charles Robinson. One, two.
Oh.
And Robinson said no, he didn't get it. He almost did it.
He's fighting for his life.
He's got it. The strap around his throat.
Move this.
Hands covered in blood.
Finally got the strap off.
The determination of Ric Flair. He's been there before. He knows what to do.
He's trying to fight it off, trying to turn it or give it the rope.
Who do you think is going to answer the open challenge in the main event?
I don't even know who's in the company at this point.
Well, you've seen this pay-per-view.
Oh, is it someone on this pay-per-view?
It is. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
It is someone on this pay-per-view.
Well, I know it's not going to be Hulk Hogan because he got in a limo and left.
Right.
So there's one down.
Oh, my God.
Is he biting him?
No, he's hit him in the nuts.
So there's like biting him in the dick.
Hit him in the nuts twice.
Okay. But I don't know who he's like feuding against. I'm just gonna say Nash.
Kevin Nash?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's a heel, isn't he? Or not at this point?
Who?
Kevin Nash.
God, what happened? Who did Scott Hall attack? Do you remember?
No.
I don't remember
So I had to ask.
either. So I feel like maybe Hall and Nash were heels. Oh, Diamond Cutter.
And Sting was a heel, but this open challenge seems kind of facey. What? I have to look at the television.
Oh. What happened?
I don't know. I wasn't looking at the television.
Oh, he diamond cuts the ref. What happened? I don't. Did he pin him? What? I missed that.
He stopped on a 3 count. I don't know if that was Robinson protecting Flair.
Tony, this is going to be a tragedy here if they don't get him off.
Oh, he stopped on the 3 count, and then they rang the bell. And here comes David Flair with a crowbar. Oh, she kicks him in the nuts. Oh my God. You really should control the number of nut shots on a show, you know? Really should just be like 1 or 2 at the most. Oh my God. Speaking of nut shots, there's another one.
Do you think people saw this and then thought like they could hit someone in the nuts with a crowbar and it wouldn't make their like testicle explode?
I don't think most people thought that. No. Where's my pen?
I heard it hit the ground. I don't know where it went.
Oh, there it is.
Tony, I'm speechless.
Got this awesome, I don't know if you can see it, this awesome Ghostbusters throw.
You're not showing them like anything.
Yeah, I know. There we go.
Is he gone?
He gone. What else? Who was that?
I don't know. I can't see anything.
It's tough. Anyways, that's hard to do. But it's like a neon Ghostbusters thing. This was from Spirit Halloween. Very comfortable. Looks awesome. That's my favorite movie, Ghostbusters. So wait, who won?
I have no idea. If you know, feel free to put it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know who won. Wait, I got my book. The 2000 Wrestling Almanac and Book of Facts. I use it very much.
I use it very much.
Yeah, if you like retro wrestling, it's a good resource.
Look at how cute our dog is.
Huh?
Look at how cute our dog is, I said.
DDP won.
Yeah, I thought he rang the bell because he was murdering Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Stabilizing his neck. Get that strap is still around his neck, Tony.
I think the good news is Flair's wins. You can see these legs.
Interesting. I wonder if surgical scissors can cut through a strap.
Mm.
That's all that can move.
I tell you, this is what it's come to. This is
Or whatever those first aid scissors are called. Is that surgical scissors or that's something different?
I don't know. So that was a good one. I enjoyed that very much. I'm gonna give that 4.5 bones out of 5.
It is not a pretty sight.
So the ones that have gotten 4.5 bones were the Eddie Guerrero Perry Saturn match, and then the strap match have been the highest rated by me. I don't know. I would love to hear what y'all think has been the best match so far. If you agree, if you disagree, whatever, I'd love to hear it. David Flair's terrible. He's a terrible actor. He's a terrible wrestler. He's not good.
I certainly hope that we haven't seen the end of.
And he got put in a really weird angle. I forget what it was, but it was weird.
This could be career.
Yeah, at this point in his career, it certainly could be. It's.
Don't go out this way. This is the way I ran that 14 times world champion. Some people may think he thought he made some mistakes in his life. That's the way Ric Flair. I don't want to see it end like this.
Do you think he actually wanted to be a wrestler? Or do you think he felt pressured to like follow in his father's footsteps?
She was up to something too.
I don't know.
We saw it.
I don't know.
He was just fighting his son's battles.
Wiping the blood off the Slim Jim logo.
No, Ric Flair getting stretchered out.
And there was with the filthy animals. Vince, I
I want him to push the paramedics away and stand up and start wooing and like hold up a fist, you know, and we'll woo.
Whatever's going to transpire there.
So speaking of Ghostbusters, I read today that there's another Ghostbusters movie in development. So the last one cost them $100 million to make. Like, holy fuck.
It was awesome though.
But it was awesome. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
Worldwide, it only made $201 million, but that's still, that's a 100% profit. But, the filthy animals are attacking Flair here.
And then up doing a number on Flair. That's Ray and Conan who came out of the timer.
I thought Ray was injured. What's he doing?
Well, he's here. And Conan's dressed like fucking Dr. Moreau.
Nobody knows who the fuck that is.
There's an old movie called The Island of Dr. Moreau. Look it up. That's what Conan looks like.
It's like a large crowd of people watching.
And they throw Flair in the ambulance. And they're taking Flair away.
Where are they taking Flair? What are they going to do to him? Oh, will we ever see Flair again?
So yeah, this show, I don't want to spoil too much, but they, write off Hogan and Flair here on the same show. Which they Russo wanted them to have. He thought they were, too old, and he wanted them to have different roles in the company. I'm not sure what roles. I think maybe Ric Flair is like a commissioner or something like that.
I can't believe Hogan agreed to that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Hogan's deal was supposed to be. But yeah, like I said, they wrote them both off television.
Was this when he went to go film Santa with Muscles?
No, it's not.
Movie ever made?
Yeah, if you like bad movies, look that one up. It's called Santa with Muscles.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan plays. Was he Santa Claus?
Well, he was a rich guy who gets amnesia at a mall where he's like hiding from the police because they were doing like prankster kind of things, like as rich people that didn't follow the law, And so they run into a mall to hide from the police, and he gets hit on the head and gets amnesia. And then another criminal that is not connected to him convinces him that he's Santa Claus, like the real Santa Claus. And then he spends the rest of the movie thinking he's Santa.
Beating people up and stuff.
Yeah. And Ed Begley Jr. is in it as like an evil scientist. It's very strange.
Yeah, it's funny to watch.
Hogan is terrible
He's
at
terrible
acting.
at acting, yeah.
Oh my god, it's awesome.
I'll tell you another movie that's fun to watch, and this one isn't bad. It's good. Goldberg is in a Christmas horror movie called
Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh.
Slay.
Yeah. And he plays, in this one, Santa is evil.
Mhm.
And he has to be, destroyed or whatever.
He was good.
Yeah.
But this is his first year that he can go back to being his usual self, which is an evil Santa.
Yeah, so he shows up and he kills people and stuff like that. It's a horror comedy, definitely.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Goldberg's good in it as Santa.
We did a watch along for it last year at Christmas time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to see that, go back to December last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and watch the Santa Sleigh watch along.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it's on, but look for it.
It's on the internet.
What did we watch it on? Oh, we got it on disc.
Here's gonna be my second guess. Yeah, we own that movie.
Yeah, we got it on Blu-ray or DVD or something.
You can't a movie that good. You have to own.
Yes, that movie, the Santa's Sleigh. I highly recommend it. It's really fun to watch. So here we got Sting versus Goldberg. World title, and Goldberg's the U.S. champion. Didn't come out with a belt.
There's money involved, too.
See a referee in here. Where's the ref?
Well, I didn't notice that there is.
And I was talking about earlier. Lex Luger was in the NFL. Goldberg was in the NFL shortly also. I believe he played for the Atlanta Falcons.
Wait, did you just say before? Oh, Lex Luger.
Lex Luger, yeah, was a football player.
He's all better.
Little Nate, yeah, he's fine.
You can't keep him down.
So here we go. There's something about this match. I don't know if they've already said it. I don't want to spoil it if they haven't.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I don't know what to think anymore. I think I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, it's weird, you know. You think you're gonna get Sting and Hogan in the main event, but you end up getting Sting versus Goldberg in the main event. But that's why they always say, you know, card is subject to change. And WCW did that kind of often, the bait and switch. People don't like that shit, you know.
yeah, the card's subject to change. That should be for like emergency situations. You know, like when Tony couldn't get like some like part of the show there because of the hurricane. You know, like
Tony.
Tony.
Oh, Tony Khan. Yeah.
We're on a first name basis. You know, my good pal Tony.
Oh.
To the 60 rail on the other side. Yeah, it's fitting that they would go on the floor after what we witnessed after 1 weekend.
Does Adam Copeland live in North Carolina?
Yeah, he lives in Asheville.
Asheville? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Let's go visit him.
There's like one road that works there, but we should not clog it because we want to see Adam Copeland.
Elbow drop from the Stinger. And he's going to go up top now, Brian. Perched. Connecting. He's got him. 1, 2. No, he doesn't.
Superhuman.
Boy, that's all it can be.
Clark can't eat your heart out. Spears forward. And he got it. He got a bring.
Who are you for in this match, Kay?
I don't know.
Oh, no? Oh.
Has Goldberg had the World Heavyweight Champion?
Yep.
Okay. Then
He won it in July of '98 and lost it in December of '98
to Kevin Nash.
to Kevin Nash.
So he gave it to himself.
He gave it to himself. He was the booker, and he gave it to himself to end Goldberg's undefeated streak and take the world title. They did not let him have a long enough reign. I mean, he was just electric. People were loving him, selling a lot of merchandise. And I think Bobby Heenan, said it when Goldberg lost to Nash. He said they killed the golden goose. And that was a start of the kind of the downfall of WCW also, because that's when Nash won it. Like I said, Nash gave it to himself, won it from Goldberg. And then they had Hogan come in I think it was January of '99. And is that it? Jackhammer.
So he got the belts again? So now has 2 titles? Is that correct? You're not telling me anything because something bad is going to happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is you, heavyweight champion of the world, Goldberg. Look at me, I can't take the world champion. You guys, and he's also the United States heavyweight champion as well.
Talk about winning in Vegas. This man has beaten all the odds.
It's been a breathtaking night, and that's as good as I can describe it. Goldberg wins the world heavyweight title. After winning the U.S. heavyweight title,
All in one night.
all in 1 night.
And after having the toughest fight of his life with Sid Vicious.
It's a history-making night. Sting said, I'm going to fight. He got one. One we will never, ever forget and be alone.
Like that old I'll say, Mikey McMahon.
You think about it, 3.5 or 4?
That's short.
Yeah,
So I said
3.5. Yeah. Oh, Sting hitting that scorpion death drop on Charles Robinson. Little Nate, it's not his night.
Is that the end of the show?
That's it.
What a
Okay.
weird ending.
That was a weird
Like
ending.
there was no actor saying anything afterwards, no like wrap up, just like
I think they might have edited it. So here's what happened. Here's what happened there. Again, going to the 2000 Wrestling Almanac and Book of Facts. So yeah, here's what was up. Goldberg had apparently won the belt from Sting in a special challenge match at Halloween Havoc, but one night later on Nitro, the title was declared vacant because Sting versus Goldberg was not a sanctioned match, and because Sting attacked Charles Robinson after the match was over. And so it was vacant, and then they had a 32-man tournament for the world title. That ended when did it end? I think it was the Mayhem, the pay-per-view called WCW Mayhem. But yeah, that was a good show. I enjoyed it. What about you?
No, it's good.
A fun show. So yeah, just recap real quick. We had the World Cruiserweight title match. Disco Inferno pinned Lash LaRue after a stunner. Kept his belt 3 bones out of 5. We had the World Tag Team title triple threat Falls Count Anywhere match. Harlem Heat versus Conan and Kidman of the Filthy Animals versus Brian Knobbs and Hugh Morris of the First Family, accompanied by Jimmy Hart. And Harlem Heat, Booker T pinned Brian Knobbs for Harlem Heat to win the belts, and that was 4 bones out of 5. Then we had Perry Saturn versus Eddie Guerrero of the Filthy Animals, and Guerrero beat Saturn by disqualification when Ric Flair attacked Guerrero.
Perry Saturn, formerly of the Revolution.
Yes, thank you. And that was 4.5 bones out of 5. Very good match. Then we had USA versus Germany, Brad Armstrong versus Berlin, accompanied by The Wall. And Armstrong pinned Berlin. Good match. Both those guys are talented, but 3.5 bones out of 5. Then we had the World Television title match, Chris Benoit defending against Rick Steiner. And Steiner pinned Benoit and won the World Television title. Good match. 4 bones out of 5. Solid match. Like you see, a lot of these matches are pretty solid. I really enjoyed it. Then we had Lex Luger versus Bret the Hitman Hart. Luger accompanied by Miss Elizabeth. This match should have been longer. Let these guys go and tell a story. But it was good. And Luger beat Bret Hart by submission to a single leg crab because Hart's leg had been attacked earlier in the week. Another good match. 4 bones out of 5.
It was so short that I didn't see any of it because I was cooking a bag of broccoli, which takes like 4.5, 5 minutes. So that was a very short match.
And then we had the WCW World Title match. Sting defending against Hulk Hogan. Hogan came out in street clothes, laid down. Sting pinned him, kept the belt. 0 bones out of 5. What a fucking way to rip people off of their money. You pay this, you think you're going to see the icon versus, the most popular wrestler ever, and you get a 4-second match. That's shitty.
A 4-second match with not even like one move, it wasn't like a 4-second match because one guy hit something awesome and just like murdered the other one.
Right.
He just laid down.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hate it. Then we had the United States title match. Champion Sid Vicious defended against Goldberg. Goldberg won due to a referee stoppage because Sid was bleeding too much. 4 bones out of 5. Good match between those big guys. And I think that was Goldberg's 2nd time with the U.S. title. Then we had the strap match, which was pinfall or submission, unlike most strap matches. and DDP, accompanied by Kimberly, trying to get revenge because Ric Flair sexually assaulted his wife, and DDP won. 4.5 bones out of 5. I really enjoyed that. You know, Ric Flair bled. They're fighting through the crowd. It was a good match. Good feud match. And then the main event, we had what ended up being a non-title match, even though it appeared to be a title match on the pay-per-view, where Sting defended his world title against new U.S. champion Goldberg. And Goldberg pinned Sting after a jackhammer to apparently win the world title. But as I told you a minute ago, it was declared vacant. Goldberg did not win the world title. Sting kept it, and then it was declared vacant the next night
Because he attacked the ref.
because he attacked the ref, and because the match was unsanctioned.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That's so confusing. Why do that?
Yeah.
I think they just wanted to do a big tournament for the world title belt, and it was a good tournament. It was very entertaining. It lasted, I think, from right after Halloween Havoc to WCW Mayhem, which I think was November 21st, '99.
Did you mention that Ric Flair was kidnapped by the filthy animals on his way to the ambulance?
Oh yes, and right, Ric Flair was stretchered out, and then the filthy animals kidnapped him and put him in the ambulance and rode off with him. I'm gonna give a little spoiler. Like I said, Ric Flair both written off TV here. I think they show what happened on Nitro the next night. Maybe it was edited out of the pay-per-view. I don't know. So it was either on the pay-per-view or Nitro the next night. The filthy animals took Ric Flair and they buried him in the desert. They buried him alive in the desert.
Is this pre or post sanitarium stay?
I don't remember.
That has to be Vince Russo, right? The sanitarium with Lil Nate taking over the show. That like screams Vince Russo.
I think so, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flair got buried in the desert. So, you know, Hogan laid down and left in a limousine. Ric Flair got buried in the desert. So Vince Russo effectively, he, you know, wrote off the two most, I'd say probably the two most popular wrestlers of all time, I would say. So yeah, that's weird. I don't know why you got big names like that who are still good in the ring and write them off TV. That's a stupid move.
Well, maybe
And
because
who fans care about? You know,
Yeah.
fans liked Hogan. Fans love Flair.
But like, if you're trying to do something different
Yeah.
in the industry, having like big names who have largest egos and creative control over their characters, and have an idea of what wrestling shows should be, I think that would be hard to work with. So I can kind of see cleaning house before getting started.
All right, so let's do. Yeah, I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. Like I said, the matches, you know, most of them had a good time. And then you know, we had several attacks. You know, Goldberg attacked Sid and made him all bloody. Filthy Animals attacked people several times. We had Medusa come out and throw perfume all over, whatever, cologne all over Bobby the Brain Heenan. That was a terrible way to sell that product.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Have the person who gets poured on exclaim, "It smells like manure."
Yeah. And then the Revolution kind of breaking up. You know, they had a lot going on,
Mhm.
which I tried to tell you in my Vince Russo recaps.
Mhm.
Just trying to keep up with what the hell was happening. But yeah, enjoyable show, definitely. And like I said, I think at some point, maybe starting in November or something, I think we'll go back and start watching the Vince Russo era from the beginning because the shows are very different, and it'll just be fun for us to talk about.
It means the royal way because
No, I mean me and the viewers.
okay.
Yeah.
Making sure I'm not part of this.
Yeah. All right, so let's do best match, worst match, rating out of 5. Okay.
Best match: Eddie Guerrero versus Saturn. Worst match: I'm gonna go Lex Luger and Bret Hart because I didn't see it because it was so short. But assuming that was very good, then I'm gonna go with Disco and Lash LaRue probably. Wait, no, does Hogan count?
Let's not count that one.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
because that would be the clear winner.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're going with Disco and Lash LaRue?
feel like that's an insult to Lash LaRue.
No, I mean Disco's hard to work with because he sucks.
Yeah. But like none of the other matches I really like didn't care for.
It was kind of an awkward match. It was not the best way to start the pay-per-view off.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing?
Rating out of 5.
Like for Halloween Havocs or like in general as a wrestling
No,
pay-per-view?
just in general as a wrestling pay-per-view. Well, you can rate the whole show, rate the decorations, and then rate the Halloween costumes that were going on.
So I'll just start with costumes because that's my jam. Not knowing what Medusa always dresses like, I'm gonna assume that wasn't a costume and that she just dresses like a patriotic hoe all the time. So I'm gonna give them a 0 bones out of 5 for costumes because literally no one had a costume. Such a disappointment when your show is titled Halloween Havoc. Decorations, I'm gonna give it 5 bones. 5 bones out of 5. I hesitated because I can't remember if there were backstage decorations, but then I remembered that giant mummy that like someone got beaten to death with or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll give them some points for that. And also, while we have seen the inflatable demon jack-o'-lantern before, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
And plus they had the flames coming out of the turnbuckle posts. And it was like red fireworky flames, not just like regular fire. It was very cool. So 5 bones out of 5 on that. Overall, I'm gonna give it like 3.5 bones.
Wow.
The reason, I hate bullshit endings in wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of bullshit going on, you know?
Yeah.
Like vacating the tag titles. I don't care for that. Like, especially because like the dude was backstage wailing on a guy later in the show. Like, how injured can he be?
Mhm.
And then the hardcore match, I would have liked that to have been longer. Because it was good, you know? So yeah, just some minor deductions. And then the Hogan Sting match. Like, what a waste of air.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. And Eric says, I do not like short matches on pay-per-view. I agree with you. Yeah. Oh, they all need time. They're supposed to be telling a story, ending a feud, or continuing a feud. And so, yeah, they need time so people care what the fuck happens in them. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so costumes, 0 bones out of 5. Yeah, you know, some years the announcers would wear costumes. Some years the wrestlers would wear kind of Halloween themed, you know, trunks or something like that. We didn't have any of that this year, so 0 bones out of 5 for the Halloween costumes. For the set, yeah, 5 bones out of 5. I mean, that giant gargoyle with the giant pumpkin with a WCW logo on it,
And the fog.
and the graveyard with the fog rolling in. Yeah, it's great. I mean, fantastic.
I had the like steam coming out of the gargoyle's nostrils.
Yeah, that too.
That's cool.
Yeah, 5 bones out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And the show itself, I'm gonna go 4 bones out of 5. It was a pretty solid show. Like Kay said, yeah, I wasn't happy with all the bullshit happening. You know, the Sting and Hogan thing was just, like I said, imagine you were there. Imagine you paid to see Sting versus Hogan, and that's what happened. That's shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the nonsense with Goldberg, you know, winning the title, and then turns out he didn't win the title one night later. Just unnecessary stuff like that. Wasn't good, but most of the matches were pretty good. I didn't do best match and worst match, but yeah, 4 bones out of 5 for the whole show. Worst match, not counting Sting and Hulk Hogan, was Lash LaRue versus Disco Inferno. Just Disco's awkward. I don't think he's very good in the ring, honestly. Lash LaRue looked good, but if one of the wrestlers isn't good, sometimes it's hard to have a good match. It takes 2 to tango, as they say. So yeah, unfortunately, that was the worst match. Best match, I got to go with the strap match. DDP versus Flair. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a good, good energy from both guys, and it really seemed like they were feuding with each other and fighting each other. So I enjoyed that. DDP versus Flair. But yeah, folks, that's it. I want to thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed doing it. We're gonna have Ripley always knows when things are ending.
That's our dog, in case you're new.
There she is. She always knows when things are ending. She's good at when we do podcasts. She's good at not barking, and
Yeah.
she knows not to make noise. But then when it ends, she's right on me. So we're gonna do several more of these. I don't know the dates yet. My work schedule is just week to week. It changes, so it's hard for me to plan things. I'll give y'all as much notice as I can for when the next couple are going to be. So what's today? October 11th. I bet we'll do at least 3 more before Halloween. I think.
And They Live.
And They Live, starring Roddy Piper. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't have a copy of They Live, get a copy. It's a fantastic movie directed by John Carpenter. Roddy Piper plays the main character, who does not have a name in the film. And I don't want to spoil what it's about. I'll just tell you it's about a secret plot that Roddy Piper uncovers. And it's a very unique and very interesting movie with a lot to say. And I forget if I mentioned it was directed by John Carpenter, who directed The Fog and the first Halloween, and just a good movie. John Carpenter's Vampires, he directed that. That was fun. But yeah, They Live. That was my point. It's a good movie. So like I said, I'll try and give you as much notice as I can for when we're going to do these things.
They can join us tomorrow.
Yeah, you can join us tomorrow. Thank you. 6:25 Eastern Time. We're covering AEW Wrestle Dream, which I'm very much looking forward to. Good matches on that. That looks like a great show.
Yeah.
And AEW, the pay-per-views usually are great. I mean, like 99% of them are great.
Yeah, I feel like that one is just a statistical anomaly. Like it's an outlier.
Well, I want to see it again. I want to see it again. I do want to see it again. Yeah, we're talking about the World's End last year. I was not a fan of that. Anyways, so yeah, we're covering Wrestle Dream. Like I said, 6:25. We're starting with the 0 hour, where they've only announced one match for the 0 hour, but they usually have like 3. So maybe on Rampage tonight they made some, or afterwards, or maybe tomorrow they will. I don't know.
Yeah, as of right now, it's Brian Cage versus Atlantis.
Atlantis Jr.
Okay.
Who is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, and it's a title match. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, so 6:25 will be there. The pay-per-view starts at 8. But yeah, we'll be there. Our friend Dylan from the Long Island Wrestling Podcast is going to join us. He's very funny, very good at what he does. And our friend Wolf, who is the No Bones About Wrestling predictions champion. We always all compete to see, who is the best at predicting the pay-per-view matches. And Wolf has won the last 2 pay-per-views, so he's had the belt for 2 months. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
He stole it from me, and I want it back. I'm super competitive.
And so yeah, we got that going on. And of course, Tuesday is our flagship show, our weekly show, AEW Weekly, where we talk about what happened the past week in AEW, kind of look ahead a little bit to the next week. And most of the talk on Tuesday will be about, the pay-per-view, what angles continued, what angles started, what surprises there were, what angles ended, all that stuff. Just
what the hell is Swerve gonna do at the show? Like,
just the consequences of the pay-per-view. That'll be the main focus on Tuesday. And the fashion. Kay Fabulous's fashion report. And then, of course, we always do our top 5 rankings for men, women, and teams. So yeah, that'll be the deal on Tuesday, AEW Weekly, 7 o'clock, and that's on YouTube. It's on Kay Fabulous's Twitch, and it's on X. So watch it wherever you want. I would recommend YouTube though. And I think that's what we got going on this week. Yeah. And then Saturday, I got to check my work schedule. But if I'm not working, we're going to do a Collision watch along next Saturday. And Dylan will be joining us for that also, and hopefully Wolf will as well. There are, like they're the No Bones About Wrestling best friends, really. So yeah, that's it. And I'm going to post that schedule on X if you didn't catch all that. If I was rambling, I'm going to post the schedule on X.
Or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications. That way you never miss it when we go live.
True. But it's best to have a schedule.
Well, yeah, but I'm
So
just
people
saying.
know what's happening. Anyways, Kay, you got any last words?
I love Halloween and I love wrestling.
Well put. Yeah, I love Halloween. I love wrestling.
And we love candy.
I love candy. Halloween Havoc, man, probably my favorite pay-per-view. I just love the theme, Halloween and wrestling together. It's just so cool. Favorite pay-per-view is either Halloween Havoc or, Fall Brawl or Starrcade or, WrestleMania, of course. Not anymore. WrestleMania doesn't seem special anymore to me. And we don't watch WWE. Anyways, that's it for us tonight.
Wait, I want to tell you my favorite pay-per-views.
Oh, okay.
So last year it was Wrestle Dream. Year before that, maybe this.
Oh, that was just WCW and WF. I didn't include AEW.
Oh,
because
okay.
they would be above both of those.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was also going to say Super Card of Honor. I always love.
Hmm.
Although this year was a little lackluster. Yeah. That's it. Mouthful of Kit Kat. See, they put a spell on you when you eat them because they're Witch's Brew Kit Kat, and they just make it so that you can't stop eating.
Delicious. Yeah, check out the Witch's Brew Kit Kats. This is not a paid advertisement. Yeah. They're just delicious. All right, that's it for us. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you did, we did a Halloween Havoc. We did 98 2 weeks ago, and if you look back to 2023, we did 3 or 4 Halloween Havocs. And as I said before, you can watch them because we do the countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press play. So you can watch them just like you watched it tonight. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're watching it with you. Obviously, we can't answer comments because it's in the past, but otherwise, it's like watching it live.
That'd be cool if we could.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We had a little time machine
Maybe
for wrestling comments.
Oh. Anyways, so thanks for watching. Thanks to Eric Tate. Thanks to Rewind 89, who was really weird and pretty funny. Awesome. Yeah. Talking about Taz and Cox and this and that and the other. Let's see. Who else?
Hired.
Yeah.
For not last weekend wrestling, with Long Island Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, Dylan came by and stopped by. Thanks to him.
Jesse maybe was in.
Yeah, Jesse Houck.
A frequent
Omega Red fan.
Yeah.
I think that might be everybody. Yeah. So yeah, just opinionated junkie.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for commenting. We love comments. You agree with us, you disagree with us. You got your own thing to say that we haven't talked about. Mm-hmm. Good, great. Post it. Let's talk about it.
You have a super weird obsession with Taz. All those things. Nice to hear about.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
As long as you're don't act like a jerk. As long as you're a nice person, we will talk about things. If you act like a jerk, you'll get kicked out and banned. Because I got no patience for that. What?
If they're watching our show, they must be nice people.
Right, yeah. I haven't had to do that to many people, like 2 or 3. Anyways, yeah, we're getting out of here. We love you. Mm-hmm. Enjoy the Halloween season. We'll try and help you enjoy it more. I think we'll get some more decorations up here behind us, and we'll do costumes on every Halloween Havoc watch along. I was a mighty duck tonight.
I was a witch, but I took off my hat so I could lean against the chair and not have my hat fall off.
But yeah, Thanks very much, and we will see you hopefully 6:25 tomorrow for the Wrestle Dream watch along. Have a great night, and long live WCW.